Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. There are rumors out there that I used to own a comic shop. I'm here to tell you they're true. I used to own a comic shop here in San Francisco, California for 10 years, from 2003 to 2013, and I opened it on April 1st, 2003. So this is the anniversary of the Comic Outpost, and on this anniversary we have some very dire news. There is a crisis in multiple comic shops due to a lot of reasons, but mainly Marvel and DC's predatory practices towards the retailers not realizing this and coming together, and of course the creators at Marvel and DC consistently attacking fans and alienating thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of customers that they could not afford to lose. But they did. And now we have consequences. Within the last 24 hours, Mrs. Nerdrotic, the lovely and talented, strong female lead, Mrs. Nerdrotic, received a message from somebody who will remain anonymous saying that comic shops will survive this. That we're being hyperbolic. Well, I give you Bleeding Cool, unfortunately. Please read Bleeding Fool. Please read Bounding into Comics. I'll read this for you. One of the shops on this list is the one I used to shop at when I worked at Tesla, and they're very nice guys. I used to see them every morning when I was walking to work. I used to pick up my books there. I actually wanted to buy the shop at one time because it's a great location, and they were featured 2 videos ago. They're done. More comic book shops close permanently. Today, Bleeding Cool looked at one potential solution to save the comic book shop that is being rolled out, and we will look at that later. Not all comic shops will make it that far. The thing that shall not be named is already causing some shops to shutter. Not just for the duration, but for good. Bleeding Cool previously reported that's what Lee's Comics was doing here in California, not too far from me, and he has been around for decades. He was an institution around here. He used to have 2 shops, but a few more comic shops have made a similar decision. More stores opened in 2019 than closed, and I still would love to see the actual data on that because I don't believe it. But it is unlikely anyone will be able to say the same in 2020, and we will see more comic book stores close. Now, more stores opening than closing could have been 2 stores opened and 1 store's closed. Show Enough Comics in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And now, I don't understand the circumstance, but I have great empathy towards the shop owners. I know how they're feeling right now as far as just shuttering the shop. It's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. It feels like losing a family member, and you have to go through a grieving process that takes time. That takes a lot of time. I would strongly encourage these people to, find a good friend to talk to. And I wouldn't count out therapy. And again, that's not hyperbolic. This was your life. When you own a comic shop, it is in your life consistently. You live and breathe it, quite literally. It's something you think about every minute of every day. They posted the following on Facebook last week. This is something that we never thought would have. This is something we never thought we would be writing. After March 31st, Show Enough Comics will no longer be in business. Through the month of April, we'll have sporadic hours, but we'll keep them updated on Facebook due to many different factors and the current crisis. It's all but done us in. We will still be getting comics this week, and they will be on sale starting around 2 p.m. on March 24th. But after that, we will not. Also, due to Diamond halting shipments for the time being, we cherish each and every one of our customers / friends, and that's the way I put it as well, that we've served through the years, and think of all of you as family. All the friendships and memories that we've made over the years have sustained us through many hard times, and hope to keep in touch with many of you as we can in the future. Also, after this crisis is subdued sometime in April, we hope that we can have one last sale for all of our customers. They updated a few days later. Unfortunately, it seems we cannot be open through the 31st now, between the city and now the state deciding that we can't be open past 5 p.m. on Saturday. We will be open today till 6 and Saturday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Blue Moon Comics of San Rafael, California. They also posted on their Facebook last week. Just wanted to inform you of our status. We have stopped all comic shipments, so new comics for the next month or so. Steven and I are accessing the viability of keeping the business going. As you know, business has not been good for quite some time, and this may be fate's way of saying it's time to stop. When we know, you will know. Thank you all for your support over the years. We do this for you, the comic book fans, and the love of the medium. Please be safe, and let's hope for good things to come after this trying time is over. Purple Turtle Comics, Vallejo, California. Bleeding Cool has confirmed that this store is permanently closed after opening 1 year ago. A popular store running signings with well-known comic book creators, the Diamond shutdown was too much, it seems. Bleeding Cool tries to mark the passing of comic stores as well as their opening. Existing fan bases are likely to make the former more well-known. Please let us know if any comic store is opening or closing in your neighborhood. And more are to come. More are to come. Greetings, everyone. Let's see who's here. Now, I haven't checked in on my old shop. That's the one I'm curious about, and I'll do that right now before we get to introductions. Because my guess is it's not long for this world. Unfortunately, there are at least 2 or 3 people who work there, which sucks. I think one of them full time. That would suck. Oh, that's weird. Comics Experience opened the same day I did. They have an anniversary today. They are 31 years old. Now, the store I owned had been there 12 years prior to me buying it, so it's been around for almost 30 years at that location. So I hope it doesn't go anywhere, but it looks like it's okay for now. Brian Hibbs writes, 5 hours ago, a poll on a retailer forum now has 119 opposed, 17 unsure, and 5 for digital first releases, even if it comes from a retailer source. Beyond the philosophical idiocy of encouraging cross-channel migration, even passively, The mechanical aspects of it are insane. How could anyone process and deal with 4 to 20 weeks of physical print comics dropping at once that would be needed to catch up? I can barely make a profit with my much, much larger discounts than the Comics Hub plans to offer. And this creates exponential amount more of work in having to track and organize such sales, all for what will be a paltry revenue stream. I am now firmly convinced that Marvel and DC didn't cave to retailer pressure, which is like 90% against, but that they merely hit pause so that Stu Colson at Comics Hub could provide them with the big fig leaf of cover they need to go full bore on Comixology. Seriously, people, this is a shitey plan, and any publisher that goes for it is my enemy. So it's on, folks. They're going to go digital first, and that's what Brian calls cross-migration, which just means the customer can get that digital comic first, and once they read it, they're still going to want to buy some physical books, but they're not going to want to buy the junk. And a lot of customers, a lot of habitual buyers buy junk. I'll give you an example. I mentioned it in my last live stream. There was a comic called Trouble by Mark Millar, and it was about teenage pregnancy and a wily Aunt May when she was young. And, you know, I think I sold 8 or 9 copies. It was supposed to be the start of some young adult line, and this was back in the mid-aughts. And a bunch of Spider-Man fans bought it. That's the only people who bought that book. Maybe one person bought it off the shelf, but Spider-Man fans bought it because they're completists, which gives you false numbers. I doubt many of them actually read it. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good, even being by Mark Millar. And that's what, I mean, there's so many inflated sales in comic books anyway, and they have been living off that for way too long. So I can't even say it was a bubble that was going to burst. It was just somebody drew back the curtain finally on the comic book industry. And you know what? The room was empty. There wasn't even a guy behind the curtain. It was just an empty room on autopilot, doing the same crap over and over again from 20 years ago. Give the stores a bunch of variants, you know, and we'll raise the variants at the same rate of inflation. So, you know, 10 years ago, you would get 5 variants with an issue. Now you get 25 variants with an issue. Yeah, they can't do that anymore. That's done. That's dead. All right, let's get to you. Let's see who's here. Cracklin is a member, and he's here. What's up? Mark Lerzeth and his wrench. What's up? Matthew Matson. Livin's Flame or Live's Flame. Primetron. TC the Mandalorian. Archmage Frey. Cash Kester is a member. Welcome. Awesome. Space Invader. Welcome. Biznick. Ahmed Stein, not Stain. Storm King 279. Guy from Red Bank. Deadpool's here. All right. Vakusin Zavasin is a member. Bill the Cat. Cash and Scott Murphy. Thomas. Andrew Banishers. Is it Banishers? Yeah, Banishers. Larry. Mitha. Nick. Palmasino. And Alistair B. Welcome, everybody. So, a lot to talk about today. I dropped a video earlier, which is just a kind of a compilation of what has happened in the last 3 days. And we're still early on in this with the comic book shops. And it depends on, I tell you right now, I'm sure some shops have borrowed money from friends. Some shops were prepared for this and have reserves. And there will be comic shops left. The question is, how many, and will there be enough to support Diamond? That threshold, and this is just the number I'm pulling out of my ass here, is 1,500. If it goes under 1,500, that can no longer support Diamond. Now, Diamond has all kinds of accounts, and that's why I think those opening comic shops as opposed to closing comic shop numbers are a lot inflated, is you could start a Diamond account. I could start a Diamond account. You have to, there's a minimum order. All you'd have to do is get a business license and a website. And you could just, it could all be fake. And you could just be a collector who buys enough stuff, who wants to get their discount. I know that happens. I absolutely know that happens. There's a bunch of online stores. We were always trying to get those numbers out of Diamond. We never could. And now Comixology, Amazon might be a part of this. Now, I don't mind Jeff Bezos, but he did something back in 2012 I did not like, and it made me institute my third rule of the comic shop, which is you cannot use a barcode scanner in my shop, because Amazon at one time, I think it was 2010 or 12, I can't remember, was encouraging people to go in with their barcode scanners, scan the comic book, and they would mine the information, and then they would offer you the same thing cheaper. And that was a little predatory as well. Hey, it's a competitive world, but that was going after small businesses. That is a $1 billion corporation then going after a $1,000 corporation, not even a corporation, $1,000 sole proprietor, which was cold-blooded at the time, I would say. Cold-blooded at the time. We also are going to talk about Dana Schwartz. We're also going to go over some of the latest articles. So you guys heard that Diamond will be, oh boy, we got some Doctor Who stuff to go over too. That article I just saw it right now. So yes, Diamond is not going to be paying Marvel or DC. Now, Marvel had already said that they, will extend their credit out. But that message really sounded to me like it wasn't going to be just this week. And it's funny. It's not funny, but if you know how, when a shop would say that to Diamond, if you knew how they dealt with that individual shop when they would say the same thing to them, you might not have a bunch of sympathy for Diamond right now and the Jeppy family estate or whoever runs it. But there's a lot of jobs connected to Diamond, so I'll lay off that a little bit. There's a lot of very innocent people working at Diamond who might not have a job, which sucks. This is crazy. So Marvel pulls all digital comics this week, as well as print. Diamond won't be able to pay publishers. And, the other thing is Diamond keeps leaking their information to websites and not speaking to the retailers, their partner, at all. Like no emails, nothing. Now, I don't know what's going on in the forums. I used to be part of a retailer forum, and I could probably log in there and still get in there, but I can't remember my password. It's been so long. I probably should. I don't think they've kicked me out. And also, if you saw my video, Joe Quesada will be coming to YouTube. Joe Quesada's coming to YouTube. And I imagine that we're going to see more Marvel and DC creatives coming to YouTube as well. Well, that should be interesting. That should be very interesting. I guess he's going to have a little drawing show, or I hope he has really good mods. And guess what? It's on the Marvel YouTube channel, so they can use it for live streaming and making announcements and letting people know what's going on. The reason they're being so quiet, folks, is they do have a plan. They have been working on a plan all along. And they've been ghosting the retailers because the retailers are not part of that plan. Now, the ones who are left might be part of that plan. And you can just say that's just business, folks. But that's what you got to keep in mind when, hey, I did it too. I was overly reliant on Diamond. And it wasn't until much later where I learned, like, that is not a good idea. This is, we are one thing away from the industry falling apart, and now it is. And of course, the creatives out there who have their head in the sand, or they think things are going to be okay, or they're going to want to come over here. Yeah, that'll be funny. That'll be funny. It's not funny, though. That's the thing. It's not funny. Thank you, Saucy Wench. And Prepper Chris, don't forget your fallet knife. Your fallet knife. They had a bat plan. Bagman, they had a bat plan. It's a batshit crazy plan. Joe Q's regularity is not my concern. Yeah, it's not that's not my concern either. Apparently, he's going to start his live stream Monday, his little sketching live stream. And just, I want everybody to keep in mind that Joe Quesada and the management at Marvel not only did nothing about the creatives and writers attacking fans, they encouraged it and took part in it. Joe Quesada, who is a big shot at Disney's Marvel, he was part of a creative consultant team that was in the early years of the MCU. I mean, he had a very respectful position, couldn't act professional. He wished one of the worst trolls out there, one of the absolute worst trolls out there, he wished this person a happy birthday. That was a message that we all saw. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how you do you're still on your big company's platform and stuff, but it'd be interesting to see how you do without that. And this big protective bubble you had around you, which was the Marvel management and the Disney Corporation, is not going to be there to protect you. And they were the reason people followed you. There's the Scott Snyders of the world and, other writers who had a following before that. They'll probably be fine. Sean Gordon Murphy. But, the Heather Antoses of the world, the Tess Fowlers of the world, who really have made their living off of Twitter and being predatory. You want to talk about predatory? Towards the customer, towards the paying customer. I'm going to try not to use the word fans. That's what I really mean. But we really got to hammer home that paying customer part because it's going to be very important in the next coming months. You should be treated like royalty. And I imagine you're going to see a lot of attitudes changing over the next couple of months. As quickly as we're seeing narratives change in the media. What's up, Mikey Woods? JQ wished ZQ a happy birthday. And the other one, Mikey, I don't want to mention her name, but you know who I'm talking about. The other Twitter troll who had me blocked and now I'm not, which is fine. Milkshakes. Oh, I remember the milkshake. I was there. Listen, I was an early subscriber to your boy Zach. And sorry, you know what? I'm gonna work on the microphone. I heard it's low. I'm gonna probably have to get a new one for streaming. So I will do my very best to stay on the mic. So I was an early subscriber to your boy Zach and Captain Cummings, and I used to be in the live chat streams of I Love Comics with Comics Division. That's where I met Comics Division. So it goes way back. And don't forget, Jeff at World Class Bullshitters did a video right around the same time. See, Zach did a video on Captain Marvel. And it was Captain Marvel. That was the first video I saw of his. Captain Marvel's Everything Wrong with Marvel Comics. And then Jeff did a video, within a couple of weeks or a week, which has Captain America on the cover, Ultimate Captain America, and it says, Marvel is literally begging you to buy their comics. And the reason I found those videos is I was getting my plan going. I'm like, okay, I'm going to open up another shop now. It was a couple years after I closed my shop, and it's, time. I took a little break from comics. I started reading them again. I wanted to get kind of the lay of the land. I had no idea this was going on because there were signs of it in 2013, but I just thought it would always be in its little corner. There was no term, for me anyway, like SJW or anything. There was just off in its little corner. It was annoying, but it didn't bother me. But then I watched those two videos. I'm like, what the hell happened? And it was 2 years after I shut my store down. And I was like, what the hell? 3 years, 3 years. Time. What does it matter when it's been so long, when you're so old? And yeah, it was kind of surprising. So I started following these guys and listening to their videos, and I'm like, wow, they're not wrong. Very good at articulating their point, reviewing comic books. Then, thankfully, Jeff was one of the people who helped me feel sane after The Force Awakens, because I saw The Force Awakens and I just didn't like it. But I was questioning my taste. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too old for Star Wars now. Maybe I shouldn't even criticize pop culture. Maybe my days are done. And then I heard Jeff, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh, by the way, I'm not doing any April Fool's crap today. Too much serious stuff going around. Not judging anybody who's doing that, but no videos, or maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll do the video like, Jodie's my favorite. The 11th Doctor is, do a video essay, kind of like Mahler did. Mahler's video today was great. Oh, that was great. I was laughing my ass off for 20 minutes. I freaking loved it. But yeah, maybe next year. But it's I'm covering this comic stuff, and it's serious and it's sad, and there's stuff I can't talk about that I will be able to talk about in a couple 3 days. But man, yeah, with the Diamond thing, it really does look like they might be done. At first, when I heard that, you always want to keep it in mind. It's like within the realm of possibility, but if I was forced to answer yes or no, do I think they're actually going to close their doors permanently? I would say no. I would say they're a giant corporation. They had to be ready for some kind of closure due to a possible disaster. You would think any of these companies would spend any amount of time on this during their board meetings instead of, I don't know, hiring entire divisions for inclusivity and diversity, and maybe nothing for disaster preparedness, crisis management. I'll tell you what, Tesla did. I could talk about that, right? That doesn't break my NDA. Tesla did. They had plans for stuff like this. So, I don't know how serious, but we definitely, yes, there were plans. So, but now I'm starting to lean towards Diamond is done. And that would be catastrophic. Hey, what happened to my snowflake and safe space? Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, well, I'll find them later. Elon Musk has plans for plans, says Chris Swan. Yes, he does. Well, he's going to take over the world someday and then leave for Mars. So there you go. We've got some we got Bird of Prey in the house. Kapla, my friend. Bird of Prey 5 for $2. I found Skinwalker Ranch on History Channel. Interesting. Yes, that is definitely exosome material. I don't know if it's true, but it's one of the most bizarre stories I've ever heard, and it would be great material for a book. So if somebody's looking to write a horror novel, look up Skinwalker Ranch, because whether it's true or not, there is some bizarre, creepy stories there. Alpha, thank you, Bird of Prey. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are quarantined and people are staying the hell away from you, my friend. You don't need, you've got us right here. We got you, okay? Alpha Prime for £2. Got laid off on Monday. Now it's podcast 24/7 with beer. Alpha Prime, I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say. I'll try to put a smile on your face, or we can, make fun of, it's funny to make fun of the idiots who have been berating paying customers for 5 years. And then when I say us, I don't mean YouTubers. I mean you guys in the chat. I've said this before. The most impact is not from a video. It's from a live stream, because we have large groups of people speaking their mind instantly. You get real data. So the producers and creators of TV shows, it doesn't matter how big your channel is at all. They are watching your reviews, especially when they're live. And I know comic creators and I know executives, some are watching, maybe not this live stream, but other people's live streams, and they're paying attention to what you're saying in the chat. So when I say we, I mean we, okay? They called all of us. These pronouns they need to pay attention to. Us and we. Is that a pronoun? I don't know. I got kicked out of 3 high schools. Yahtzees and ists and phobes and everything else. And they weren't accountable to us because we didn't hire them. I mean, for one, that's the dumbest logic I've ever heard from an adult, from a grown-ass adult, especially from somebody like Jerry Dugan, who's like 100 years old. You are accountable to the customer and the comic shop. We're all in this together. And now we're starting to see tweets. We're all in this together. Oh, we are now. Are we in this together? Because I still see you chirping about politics all day and never talking about your comics, which certainly could have helped a lot of shops and could have helped this industry be healthier, and it would have saved more shops. It wouldn't have saved every shop. And remember, kids, these are only ones we've heard about. There are many who have already made the decision and haven't made it public, or it's been made public and we just didn't hear about it. And we don't have a real number of comic shops. Diamond knows, and they're the only ones who know. Well, maybe Marvel and DC know. They aren't going to say anything. There might be less than 2,000 shops. It might be close to the threshold already. We don't know. George Peter Gatus for Canadian $2. If Diamond Comics Dis equals Ponzi scheme, then it's over. Or if Diamond Comic Disney equals Ponzi scheme, then it's over. Well, it is over. The publishers dealt with Diamond because they had to. And they're all kumbaya and they're partners, but I listened to a Disney executive in person say if they could have gotten rid of them, they would have. Bill West is a member. Welcome, Bill, to the Geloja level. I appreciate it. Kelt 1971 is a member at the proto-molecule level. Thank you. I appreciate it. Darkstar 76 for $5. Off the subject, but just want to say you didn't have to give me that shout out, man. I was showing my appreciation for the swag. Keep it on, my friend. Oh, I know, Darkstar, but I was going to give you the shout out anyway. Of course. You're representing. I love that. You are. Thank you. Thank you for showing out the swag, and I am happy to do it. Happy to do it. As a matter of fact, hang on. I got to show off this shirt that Demon Synthwave made for me. I got it a while ago, but I got to make sure you can see it here. That's pretty dope. That's pretty damn dope. Thank you, Demon Synthwave. Okay. Well, what do we want to talk about? Now, any news? I don't want to really cover any news today because I don't know if it's real or not. We did get announcement of a 14th Doctor. You want to know what is an April Fool is Doctor Who announces it offers fans a Series 12 big moment recap video. I am still working on a Doctor Who video that'll come out eventually. That will come out eventually. Yeah, but we have no idea. We have no idea what is true or not today. Oh, man. Here we go. Quibi. Remember I talked about Quibi? This is the big competition for YouTube, everybody, is Quibi. It's a pay service of 10-minute videos that is directly taking on us, but it's backed by Hollywood, Katzenberg, I think Jeffrey Katzenberg or Geffen, one of the two, Katzenberg. And it's going to have, it has Punk'd, it brought back Punk'd, and they're going to be 10-minute videos. It's going to be comedy, some drama stuff, and they're going to take us on. I believe that, I don't know if it's commercial free or not, but you have to pay for it. And yeah, it's back. Quibi is back. And I know there's a bunch in the Access media who would just love for this to work. I give it a year. I give it a year. And maybe it'll wake YouTube up. Maybe if it's an actual competition for YouTube, it'll wake it up. Because remember when Twitch came around, that we got a lot of changes when Twitch started, rising up. And maybe the same thing will happen. I'm not against competition. I think competition breeds innovation. That's why we're in the trouble we're in with the comic shop, with the comic book industry. There is no innovation. Nothing changed. It was a dinosaur. It was molasses in the winter. Jodie is not the 13th incarnation of the Doctor. She is the second incarnation of Bubbles from AbFab. Yes. She is. There's been a weird attempt at a resurgence by the Doctor Who. What's left of the Doctor Who, the vocal minority, as we like to call them. Now, comic book fans, if you're not aware, Doctor Who, same thing happened to Doctor Who that's been happening in comic books, but it's the worst case scenario. They took a beloved character, made that beloved character female, and then went back and rewrote the entire character's history. So imagine turning Spider-Man into a woman and then rewriting Spider-Man's origin and then coming out and saying you should be okay with that. And then fans actually backing it up and saying they're Doctor Who fans. There's diehard fan. There's a difference. That's when you move from diehard fan into enabler. Enablers don't, it's not like they can't exist. I've said this before. There are different aspects to fandom. They all can exist. I have no problem with that. It's who the people who own these franchises listen to. Right now, for years, they have been listening to the minority. We have data that can back this up for the last couple of years that fan base doesn't have money, doesn't really care. It's what our good friend Mark C. called a Google fan. There's a lot of Google fans. Now, hey, that's a good way to start. That's a great way to start. But if you go Google the plot summaries of a couple of comic books, I don't think you should be running Marvel Comics. That's all I'm saying. When you have zero television writing experience and zero comic book writing experience, and you are given a Marvel TV show, given a character that I like a lot, that I've liked for decades, and then that person starts smacking fans and making very poorly worded or ill-timed tweets. Yeah, we tend to get mad. We are sensitive to this because we've had so many tourists come in to our favorite industry and come and fill it full of agenda, muck it up, vandalize it, piss on it, and walk away and laugh. Yeah, we're pissed off. Do we think like we own these franchises? No. But we are invested in them and we are entitled to respect. And those stories and those characters are entitled to respect. It's really not even about us. It's not about the fandom. The fandom and the paying customer are trying to protect the character. So when we say, Chris Chibnall, stop screwing up Doctor Who, we're not actually calling him a name. We're not attacking him. We're asking him to stop screwing up a character. And then we get called Yahtzee because we don't like what's been presented. So obviously we're a Yahtzee at that point. Instead, we're trying to protect the character's legacy. We care more than the people who own it, which is true. It's always been true. But usually people like to make money and they want to keep their job. And more importantly, I'm going to state the obvious here. One of the primary reasons people write comics and draw comics or act or direct or go to Hollywood, do anything in entertainment is for attention. And if you want to keep getting attention, positive attention, you want to write the best story you can. You want to draw the best comic you can. You want to produce the best television show you can or film. Now it's about getting across the best message you can and getting accolades from within the industry. It wasn't about getting accolades. It's not about getting accolades from the fan or pleasing the fan anymore. The fan is toxic. It's a pain in the ass. It's such a burden. Why can't they just shut up and give us their money. I don't understand it. So when you hear a creative, a hack, when you hear a hack say entitled fan, they're just projecting. Especially somebody like Dana Schwartz. I can't imagine Dana had a tough life. She went to Brown University, and it's in the Wikipedia. And, you know, maybe she paid her own way. Maybe dad, maybe mom. I don't know. Has she had a 9-to-5? Has she worked in a factory? Has she laid track for the railroad? I've done that. It's a freaking hard job. She fought fires. She worked, done anything other than go to school and be obnoxious on Twitter. Captain Spire, just a correction. Loki's channel was hit on Saturday with a copyright strike for singing a song and not demonetizing. Sorry about that. No worries, Captain Spire. You could have just messaged that. That means Loki was singing very well. If Loki was singing a song and he got a copyright strike, well done, Stone Loke. And Doomcock did that on a live stream. It was Mecca and Tom and I, and Doomcock started singing. We got hit with a copyright strike. That was good. It's good. That's like the one copyright strike where you're all, damn, but damn. BB Meyer for $25. Told my brother about Gotham High after your video. Literally heard him cringe from the other room. He's not even a big comic book fan. Yeah, the cringe is unbelievable. And the best part about it is the writer thinks she thought up that idea all on her own. And DC knew it wasn't her idea, but they were so afraid to tell her because she was part something. Political correctness is social tyranny. Political correctness is social tyranny. We'll get into that subject a lot deeper in the next Exozone we do. As a matter of fact, that'll probably be half our show. El Rumblo for 50 Swedish krona. Thanks for your content during these times. Glad to have something to watch. Keep it up. You are welcome. Yeah, sorry about the inconsistent times, but I got to work on videos, and I'm working on my Star Trek Picard review, and I'm looking for excuses to get away from it. I talked about that last night, and that's what that video was. They're like, oh, I got to do another video on this. So I'm actually not doing anything else until I finish the Star Trek Picard review, and hopefully it'll be done tomorrow. I'm going to work on it after this. It's brutal. Watching that show again is brutal. If somebody likes it, that's fine. I have no problem with you if you like it. This is what I've always said here. I don't make videos about people who like things. I don't talk trash about people who like things. I question your taste, and I probably wouldn't take one of your recommendations if, say, you could like one bad thing, that's fine. But if you like Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery, and Doctor Who Series 11 and 12, and The Last Jedi, I'm probably not going to take any recommendation you make on anything. Doesn't mean you can't exist. I got no problem with you. I'm just not going to listen to you. But, if you just like one of those things, but you like, we're fine. We're good. I don't know how anybody could like this and back it up other than hypnosis. You're seeing Sir Patrick Stewart not act like Picard at all. And you know what? Go watch Measure of a Man and then watch a Star Trek Picard episode. Though that is not the same character at all. There's moments. And you know what? It's voice projection. And it's because he's older, but he's still capable of projecting his voice like Picard. And he only does it like a couple of 3 times throughout the entire series. And they get their messages mixed up. That's the best part, is they can't even, the woke is on you, Alex Kurtzman. You couldn't even woke right. You're nothing but a woke. Proper Live 74 links for $2. Hey there, Gary. Hope you are well, sir. I hope you are well, too. I hope you're all well, friends and frenemies. That's not an April Fool's. I genuinely hope that we get through this and we can go back to culture war, or better yet, put it down. Just put it down. We are now seeing that 57 genders doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. How you or I identify, sure, it matters, but not that much. Okay? I really don't care. And I know you don't care. I'm not going to walk around telling you where I put it or, who cares? Who cares? Some nobody for $2. I'm doing it. More to come in a couple of months. Good. What are you doing? Are you starting a YouTube channel? Are you painting your house? Are you making the world a better place, some nobody? Swarta for $2, $5.49. Gary, how far are you with Berserk? Can't wait till you read The Eclipse and Beyond. Greetings from the Netherlands. I am not far. Not far. I got to get through my Picard review, and then I'm going to probably get through the book this weekend. And then I'll do a review on Nerdrotic Live. How's that sound? We can do a live review. I'm sure that will bring in the thousands of people. Nerdrotic manga. I mean, it's virgin manga. I might have... This might be the first manga I've read all the way through. I can't remember. Because I could have, I might have been bored one day and read through a Shonen Jump or something like that. But I knew a bunch of people who worked at Viz and with them for a long, long time. Just never got into it. But you know what? Manga's going to destroy now. They're going to absolutely rule. The American comic companies might need to go to them. It sucks, though. I love the American comic book. That is my favorite thing. Favorite medium. Bart Kohler for $10. Go do that voodoo that you do so well. Blazing Saddles. Now, that is a good movie to watch. You want to feel good. You want to laugh. A movie that might, hey, maybe entertainment is saved. Because we were well on our way to having a movie like Blazing Saddles banned. Or at least heavily edited. Any Mel Brooks video. And when Mel Brooks made these movies, there was real stuff going on. Like actual real ists and phobes. Not saying they don't exist now, but it was so much worse back then. Back when Star Trek, the original series, was on and they were actually breaking ground. Instead of just breaking a series and breaking a franchise is what what Kurtzman and Chibnall are doing. And by the way, yes, Dana Schwartz, I give men a lot of shit. As a matter of fact, I give more men shit than I do women. Right now, more men are screwing up TV shows than women. As a matter of fact, my favorite show from 2019 was run by a woman. Doctor Who was started by a woman. It's co-started, she co-produced it. DJ H 2006X for £25. Thank you for the content, Gary. Been in the house for weeks due to the lockdown in the UK. Do you think with CBS Viacom merger, Sherry Redstone will lay down the law and sort out this Discovery/Picard nonsense with real Star Trek? I think she will. But she has to weather a huge storm right now, and that was before this thing happened. They were having a little trouble with the merger because they overvalued the Viacom stock. See, Viacom and AT&T and Comcast saw that they were dying, but they were still huge companies, so they bought their way into industries that were killing them, which was a smart move. AT&T bought Warner Brothers, which was a very smart move. But AT&T had debt because it wasn't the healthiest business in the world. Warner Brothers had debt, so they're going to have to trim some fat. And Disney's in horrible shape. Horrible shape. So Dana Schwartz, I would just shut up and pray you have a job. Like everybody else, Dana. Like everybody else. And if a customer bites back at you, yeah, I'm gonna nerd-splain all the creatives right now. Just ignore it. Yes, sometimes anonymous people can be a-holes. Sometimes you can be an a-hole. Sometimes I can be an a-hole. You know what you do? You ignore it. Why don't you focus on the positive? Just focus on the positive. Focus on the fact that you still have a job that's brilliant that you can draw comic books and write comic books. Not many people get to do that and have the talent to do that. So why be miserable? Gratitude. And you know what? The fans see that. They see the snarky attitude, the ingratitude. They see a lot of you going after, talking about politics all day, talking about how miserable you are. And these people are working 9 to 5s. And you know what? These people are doing their 9 to 5s like I was. I was happy at my 9 to 5 job. I liked it. For the most part. I didn't like Tesla that much, but other 9 to 5s I liked. I like going to work. I like hanging out with the coworkers. I made pretty decent money and the job was okay. It wasn't bad. It was much better than living on the street, living under a bush, being broke all the time, being like a meth zombie. No, see, it's gratitude. And we see these, oh my God, actors and producers, multimillionaires, whining all the time. And you know they're not that upset. They can't be that upset. They're not, but they just want attention. More attention. Like, because they don't get enough at work. Especially if you're like, I don't know, I don't want to pick on Gal Gadot because I like her as an actress, but any actor. They have an assistant or two constantly paying attention to them, doing their shopping for them, running around, raising their kids. Then they get to the set and they have the caterer kissing their ass and the producer kissing their ass and the line producer kissing their ass and the director kissing their ass and other actors kissing their ass, but then talking shit behind their back. And everybody's kissing their ass all the time. That has to, well, I know it destroys your perspective on life. And you want to talk about identity, you lose your identity in that. That's why so many actors and creatives go when they get older. Yeah, so we fans, we paying customers, we plebs, that you're going to sing Imagine to and make us feel better. We see the lack of gratitude, and it does kind of make us angry. It's not envy. It's disappointment. It's disappointment. It's like, man, that person worked their ass off. I agree with Chappelle. There's no weak people in Hollywood. You had to work your ass off to get there. So you hone your craft, you work your ass off, and yeah, you have to compromise. That's part of success is compromise, and sometimes it sucks. But you need to do it. You got to play the game before you can change the rules. And you get there, and all of a sudden, you lose perspective, and you act like a shithead. And Marvel Comics is filled with them. It's run by them. Tom Brevoort, or whatever his name is, that guy's been around as long as I can remember. I don't know why. I don't know why you keep management when your sales are stagnant or not tank, but they don't go up. The comic industry has been absolutely stagnant. It's stagnant because of it's not true nepotism, but it's nepotism, fraternization. It's a club. It's a clique. They fully gatekeep. They don't bring anybody new in, and they're all protective of their jobs. So anybody they bring in new is not going to be more talented than them. It's a lot like what happens with Alex Kurtzman and Chris Chibnall. The talent, that's the baseline talent level, is Chris Chibnall and Kurtzman. So whatever you get is going to be below that, which is not going to be good. That's why Russell T Davies was a great showrunner. I will argue he's a better showrunner than Moffat, but Moffat was a better writer of singular episodes when they worked together. I think Moffat was great when he was working under RTD, and the more I learn, Moffat was co-running the show with RTD. Like, he did a lot of work that he didn't get credit for. But I think it was those two working together that made that magic show, that freaking perfect show that I want to watch an episode right now. Like, all the time. God dang. I got this. I know I'm not supposed to be purchasing anything. This was awesome. I didn't know this existed. Vinyl 2LP soundtrack for seasons 1 and 2. Murray Gold is a genius. But back to gratitude. Gratitude is something that changes your life. It changes your life. Changed mine. Because it helps you take responsibility for yourself. I use my I statements. I make my gratitude lists. I am not perfect. I fuck up all the time. But when I write that little gratitude list, and I do it when I'm, actually when my sponsor tells me to do it, and when I'm feeling particularly, selfish or petty, you write that down, and it's easy. And you don't have to think about it too much, and just, I'm glad I'm breathing. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I don't live under the bush. in by the Long John Silvers in Encinitas. And it could just be that. Got a great family. It's a beautiful day. And do that now. You know, I mean, we're powerless over this situation. We are absolutely powerless over this situation right now. So we got to make the best of it. And it sucks. There's bad things happening. We just had somebody lose their job, and Alpha Prime, and I'm sorry again, Alpha Prime, lose your job, but we still have to find a way to get grateful. Now, Alpha, I'm not asking you to do that right now. Of course, you got some stuff to process, and you have every right to be sad, upset, and don't feel like, I hope, and I'm sure you're not, don't feel shamed and otherwise. You got to feel your feelings. But after that, hopefully something better happens for you. And as you know, Alpha, it'll be you making that better thing happen. Nobody's going to come and save us. They never were. And hopefully we can get ourselves out of this together. But it doesn't help when our entertainment, which is very important right now, like really important. YouTube is important right now. You know what's important right now? The mainstream media. That would have been important if we can trust them, but we can't. Like, this is really their time to shine. All that other crap, that in-between time, this is the moment, the first moment in my life since that famous date in September and beyond that, we've actually needed them to be what they're supposed to be, and they're not. They've spent so many years being entertainment. That's all they are. They are entertainment. They are no different than the late night talk show hoes. Talk show hoes. Yeah, they're talk show hoes. They're hoes. And you see how well they're doing without their multiple writers. They're 21. What did Crowder say? One of the late night people, I believe it was, I can't remember which one it was. Jimmy Kimmel, maybe? 21 writers. 21 writers for an hour chat show where he asks stars softball questions. 21. I bet you couldn't tell, but I don't have a single writer. I don't write myself. I just turn on my camera and talk. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm not saying I'm Jimmy Kimmel, because I wouldn't sell out my fans or friends in here like he did. Remember when he was on the Man Show? What a poser. Him and Howard Stern. Big disappointment. I went to the Jimmy Kimmel Show when he was still kind of cool, and now, terrible. He's terrible. I still like Conan O'Brien a little bit. I do. Saucy Wench, thank you for the 99 cents. Cracklin, $4.99. Do you think a new comic book company will result of this? Maybe one that caters to independent creators. Maybe. Something will come out of the ashes. An independent will rise up. And it will be somebody who was in a position to where maybe one of the comics gators, maybe one of the Indiegogo people has enough money to start a publishing thing. Honestly, though, it depends on the person. If it was me, I'm not a big partner person. I like my sole proprietorships, but if you're the kind of person who doesn't mind taking on partners and doesn't mind the risk with taking on partners, yeah, I think something could rise up. Now, would it be as big as Marvel and DC? No. I mean, that's impossible to start right now. It would take years to get there, but certainly you can create something probably instantly that could compete with IDW and Dark Horse. And those are pretty good companies. Dark Horse is a good company because they've always kept it kind of small and they know what they're doing. And they've also been around a long, long time. They know the business. Image could get much bigger from this if they got their political heads out of their asses and decided to be a business instead of a business that wants to cater to a certain political sect. Hell, if the San Rafael shop becomes available, Steven, if you're watching, call me. call me. But I will not do business with Diamond. Never. But they might not be around. And this might go back to the old days with the Capital days, and where there was multiple distributors, and you would go to a warehouse and you pick out your books. I remember those days. Now I wasn't a shop owner then, but I was friends with the shop owner, and I'd go with her, and we would pick up books at Capital down in San Diego. But yes, I think it can, but will it be one that can compete, Cracklin? I don't know. That's a good question. The opportunity is here to do that. If you could get a big investor, but I think the new way is the build your platform and do the crowdfunding thing. Now, the important part with that, obviously, to state the obvious, is you have to build your platform genuinely, and it needs to stay genuine. That's the point. You can't go and I'm just going to create a platform to sell comic books. It doesn't work like that. I want to create a platform because I want to connect with an audience. I have found my voice. I know what I want to say. I want to come out here with a message. I want to entertain people. And then the comic book comes secondary. And that is another part of your channel, but it doesn't become your channel. That would be my theory on that one. I could be wrong on that. Because a lot of the other channels, they talk about their books, but they talk about other stuff too. They talk about pop culture. They talk about movies. They talk about TV shows. And that's what you keep it doing. And you can do both. I mean, honestly, just the crappy comic I did, they're a ton of work. They require a ton of work, especially when you're making like your own. You feel much more passionate about it. It's not like, I can imagine, I've never worked for Marvel and DC. So, but I would imagine that, Ethan feels much more passionate about, and he says it, working on Cyberfrog. Like, that's his character. That's his baby. That rather than being a hired gun on Plastic Man or something like that. And you can see it in his art, honestly. You can see it. It shows through. It's really good. Fillet Knife Gary equals Lighthouse while we are lost. Prepper Chris 1. I will try to be the beacon. Well, I don't think you're lost. You guys are. We've got each other. You guys were my lighthouse. I was lost. Thank you, Prepper Chris, for $2. Deef for $5 Canadian. You should bring EBS in here. SJW's threatening to kill him over reporting on this stuff. Love you. Stay safe and get the hell out of California. Well, Deef, I'm stuck here now. I don't want to think about that one. We were going to plan on moving, but there was a lease at the salon, and we had, Nerdrotic Jr. just got accepted into a great school, a Catholic school. Yes, my son is going to a Catholic school. Father Christopher Miller would be proud, but I would much rather my son go to a Catholic school in San Francisco than a state-run school, especially since the curriculum has gotten so much worse. I could start a channel on public school curriculum here in San Francisco. And again, all are welcome on this channel. Supporters of the president are welcome on this channel. People who don't are welcome on this channel. I am not a right-wing person nor a left-wing person, but that curriculum is batshit crazy, and I don't want my kid learning it. So I'm very happy that a Catholic school was here so he can get a proper education. I couldn't imagine myself saying that 20 years ago. Life gets weird. If you would have told younger Gary 20 years ago that you were going to have a kid and then you were going to send him to a Catholic school, I would have slapped myself. But here we are. Here we are. And good for him. So yeah, but I will get out, Deef. Yes, another year. But, I think we are all stuck. I've got to wait for my house to be worth money again. It was 4 weeks ago, and now it's not. So, but I got a place to live. I got a roof over my head, and I am grateful for that. See, I don't dwell on it. I don't dwell on, you know what? Because I didn't lose anything I didn't have in the first place. So, ICane 1906 for $5. Doubt folks like Shooter, Levitt, Schwartz, Kahn, etc. would allow these creatives to treat customers like this. I know they wouldn't. And my God, Paul Levitz, man. I miss Paul Levitz. I do. It's never been the same without him. And yeah, as far as EVS, yeah, all you have to do is ping me and he can come on, sure. I got to watch. He did an interview with Ripa. I got to watch that. I haven't watched that yet. As far as people threatening him, I'm not surprised. I mean, like, listen, considering how much Richard was threatened, I'm sure, it doesn't make it okay. Just because I'm not surprised, it doesn't make it okay. Because it definitely doesn't. We saw Tug got threatened, doxed. Threatened and doxed. And they tried to dox Yellow Flash too. I don't know if they succeeded or not. I don't know who Yellow Flash is. I don't know who Doomcock is. Things that are not okay in my book. This is just for me personally. It's not judging other channels. I don't like drama between YouTubers. I stay away from it. Now, I am going to be making a video taking on somebody's argument who's a channel with 1 million subscribers, but I'm not attacking them personally. It's more of it's not EFAP owns EFAP. I'm not trying to, nobody can do what Mahler does, but it's going to be, I'm taking on the argument of a Doctor Who video. But I don't like getting into spats on YouTube. People have made videos about me, not much, and they can make videos about me. I don't care. One recently asked if I've ever seen an episode of Star Trek. And yes, I have. Unfortunately, it's been a lot of the shitty stuff. And of course, doxing is lame, flagging is lame, and I'm not big on posting public DMs unless there's permission involved. If there's permission, that's fine. Yeah, those are things that's a no-no over here. Try to keep it light as possible. We got to keep our eye on the prize. So the Alex Kurtzman, the Jar Jar Abrams, and you know what? I tell you what, I have heard this directly from people who are creatives in Hollywood. They have no problem with us going after the Kathleen Kennedys, the J.J. Abrams, the Rian Johnsons, the big shots, the fat cats, the Bob Igers. Oh, they like it when we go after Bob Iger. They actually do. It's when we go over, if any of us, which I try not to, go after anybody working in costuming or so, just I don't want to call lower level jobs, but the blue collar part of Hollywood, hands off. Same with, somewhat same with comics, somewhat, unless you attack a fan, then it's on. You're a public figure. The Price is Right review for $5. Kapla, my man, as cheesy as the Arrowverse is, with woke politics, I won't lie when I say I saw and enjoyed the Anti-Monitor versus God's Vengeance, The Spectre. I'll watch the scene, but honestly, Price is Right review, listen, you're a comic book fan, I understand it, and my attitude towards the Arrowverse was the same in the beginning. It's like, I used to like, if you had a superhero in it, I was watching it, and I didn't care how bad it was. I don't mind cheese, that's one thing, but the CW did, in a lot of ways, ruin all of pop culture because it made it okay to be uber SJW in your story. And yeah, they are kind of ground zero in that. And I don't criticize them enough because it's so bad. It's been so bad for so long. It's unwatchable. I gave up on Batwoman. I gave up on hundreds of thousands of views. I could have reviewed Batwoman every Sunday. With Doomcock and I could have reviewed it every Sunday. We would have gotten a bunch of clicks. I didn't want to put myself through that. It was bad enough just a month with Star Trek Picard and Doctor Who. I almost needed therapy after that. And there really wasn't anything. I had to go back and watch Lord of the Rings a few times just to cleanse my palate. But I'll check out the scene. That would be cool to watch. I would love to see it in a proper movie. And by the way, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Damn it. I love the idea of HBO Max premiering with the Snyder Cut. Charge $50. I'll pay $50 if 25 goes to the deletion prevention in the name of Zack Snyder. I would prefer 100% go, but I mean, if half of it and you do Zack Snyder right after you screwed him over, Warner Brothers, the fans would love it. The fans would love it. I would love to see it. You know, they're not good movies. They're not. But I own them, and I enjoy them. And that's the example. At least Zack Snyder's movies aren't woke trash. They're just superhero movies. You know, they got some of the characters wrong, but I will maintain I like Affleck's Batman. And I think it's a tragedy we lost it, to be honest with you. Because he looked like Batman. Batman. The Zardoz for $10. Everyone must keep informed and aware. Thank you for helping do this. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I will do my best not to pass on any bad information with anything. But most importantly, with what's going on. As far as pop culture, it's all bad information these days. Oh, my favorite part, though. My favorite part is Film Gob did a video today. Chris Terrio confirmed, like we knew this, there was massive rewrites and reshoots with The Fall of Skywalker. Massive. So, all those people, all the content cops out there who were busting on my pal Doomcock, were busting on Jeremy, getting on me a little bit. I'm waiting for my apology, because I remember a couple of you made videos stating that if we get something wrong, it's our duty, according to you, to go on our channel and apologize to our viewers because we lied to them, even though we all said rumor in our video. Take it with a grain of salt. I said in all of my, I've only done a couple of rumor videos. Oh yeah, and then forget the one that was right about Doctor Who. I'm still waiting for the apology on that one. But no, we did say it was rumor, and I would say I have no idea if it's true or not. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the production room or anything, so I don't know. But we're fans. We're talking. We can do that. But yeah, the YouTube content cops, crickets. Spirits Car for $1.99. You got to stream with EVS to talk about all this. Sure. Check out Spirits Car. Check out my podcast with Eric July with Young Ripa. We did one about 4 days ago. It was one of the best conversations I've had about this. That guy knows his comic books. He understands the business, especially somebody who, I don't know, I don't want to assume. I don't think Eric July has owned a comic shop, but it seems like he did. He knows it enough. And he's one of the people who's actually been reading the current books, has been taking the bullet. Like I've been watching Star Trek Picard. He's been reading Captain Marvel. He reads all these books and he collects them. So he's one of the most informed people out there on it, quite frankly. So we had him on Friday Night Tights too. Great dude. We'll have him back on. But sure, thank you, Spirits Car. Milo Cooper has a little superhero flying there. Thank you, Milo. I appreciate you. Thank you for the $10. Grant Kelbrick for 35 South African pesos. Tossing these coins at my Nerdstradamus because he keeps me entertained. Thanks for your legendary content, Gary. Wow. Appreciate what you do for all of us. Thank you. I do my best. I try to stay humble. I don't, got to keep this. That's very bad. Thank you, Grant. Towards the end at the comic shop, one of the reasons I fell off the wagon and totally crashed and burned it was, I started believing that I was awesome. I started thinking like, I got this. I don't need to be sober anymore. I'm a rock star comic shop owner. How pathetic was that? I mean, like, it's pathetic. It was. And boy, did I fall on my face hard and fast. It was epic. Karma, I believe in it. Aaron Friedman for $1.99. Without comics, what will come of the comic book movies? That's a very good question. Diminishing returns. diminishing returns. How long will how long will baseball last if you got rid of the minor leagues completely? So you cut out the minor leagues, you have your youngest players, so it would last you could last long as a baseball player, 5 to 10 years, but then it would be dead. That's the best analogy I can think of. You get rid of the comic book shops, that's your farm system. Those are comic book fan makers, and quite frankly, it's been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. The movies don't make the same type of fans. There's movie superhero fans, there's MCU Spider-Man fans, and then there's Spider-Man fans. And we know the difference. And that's fine. You can like MCU superhero movies, but you're getting 3 stories. And when you're talking to a Spider-Man fan who read the comic books, no matter how well you've argued, no matter how, I don't know, you could have a very good argument, but you're arguing against somebody who's read 500 stories, 320 stories, 150 stories, compared to I watched 3 or 4 movies. They haven't even scratched the surface on Peter Parker. I know people are probably tired of Peter, and it's time for Miles Morales. Whoa, what the fuck was that? Wow, something from outside. But no, you haven't seen the actual Peter Parker from the comic books yet. You got close with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, but you haven't seen the real Batman yet. You have seen the real Superman. Richard Donner's Superman is spot on Superman from the comic books. You've seen Daredevil, proper Daredevil in the TV series. Got pretty close with Captain America with Chris Evans. I'll admit that. You saw Tony Stark. I thought that's a pretty good representation. But as far as real Spider-Man, haven't seen it yet. And you probably won't. Because now that's passé. There's too many white folk involved in that. So we need to make it something it's not anymore. And then it just won't be the comics. You know, Marvel needs to not apologize. They unapologetically make your comic book films accurate to the comic books. And then, if you want to get more inclusive and diverse, you create new characters. Don't pass mantles. I'm not against sidekicks. I like sidekicks, but I don't like passing mantles. Create new characters. There's nothing stopping you from creating a new character. And you know what? Introduce them in the comics, bring them up, and then bring them in the movies. I've heard this argument. We've done that. Snowflake, Save Space, Children of the Atom. No, create a character that you actually put time into that somebody maybe thought of before. You know what? Go look around Indiegogo. Go look around Kickstarter, Marvel. Now, if you're a creator, I would get an agent for this, but that's what I would do. If I was Marvel and DC, I'd be searching the indie sphere for somebody who created a superhero and just say, and think, you know what? I'll buy it off you. I'll buy it off you, because right now, the talent that you have at Marvel couldn't think of a new superhero to save their fracking lives. We've got brand new characters, a female Cyclops. I'm freaking Stan Lee. Come on. And by the way, if I was one of those kids or youngsters with an indie comic book and a Kickstarter, weigh your options. Weigh your options. If Marvel comes to you and you know, like this is a solid character. This is something I've been working on all my life, and you believe in it. Get what it's worth. Get what it's worth. But, you know, in times like these, if a big company comes and gives you a big wad of cash for something, there's a lot of people who will, you know, listen. Len Wein created Wolverine. Would Wolverine have been popular if it wasn't created at Marvel? No. But we don't know that for sure. It still doesn't mean you leave Len Wein to die penniless. There needs to be a balance with that. Marvel and Disney and DC. Bill Mantlo, the creator of Rocket Raccoon, is in a hospital, and his brother required crowdfunding to pay his hospital bills. He created Rocket Raccoon, Marvel and DC. Now, I don't know if those got taken care of, Tom from Midnight's Edge made me aware that there was crowdfunding last year for Bill Mantlo, who was hit in a hit and run accident, and he doesn't even remember he created comics before. That guy should be taken care of for the rest of his life. Marvel and DC. But no, please have another meeting on inclusivity and diversity. Yeah, you know what, Joe? Because that's a good question for Joe Quesada on Monday. Ask him if they're taking care of Bill Mantlo. One of the most popular characters in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, by the way, if that's a very good comic. Right before Annihilation, which is a crossover event that happened around the same time as Civil War, but it was a better. It's great. Read it. It's great. So there was a Guardians of the Galaxy title that was started right before that. That's pretty much everything the movie was based on. It's great. It's great. Highly recommend it. But Bill Mantlo should be taken care of, and he's not. He's not. And that's bullshit. Len Wein was not taken care of. His hospice should have been taken care of. He was at Comic-Con. I know I've told this story before, but it angers me that the creator of frickin' Wolverine was at a Comic-Con while he's dying to get $20 per signature. I gave him $200, by the way. I felt so horrible. I gave his son $200 and he wanted to give me change. I'm like, no. And he was like insisting. I'm like, please don't, keep it. And they're just really nice guys. And yeah, to get money for his kid, he was doing that for his kid. So yeah, Marvel DC, shame on you. Apparently Hugh Jackman helped him out a bit. So props to Hugh Jackman, but Marvel and DC, the billion-dollar companies, couldn't. And without comic books, without comic book stores, Aaron, I don't know what happens to the entire industry. That could reverberate through the Indosphere too. I mean, we can't pretend that won't, because you get the comic book buyer out of that habitual nature and they just forget about it. Like Kevin said in my video, I'm free. I didn't know I could be this free. You know, it's a paradigm shift. I don't think they'll always be around in some aspect. But as far as being able to pay people's mortgages and their rents and stuff, I don't know. There were more bands 20 years ago than there is today. There were people who were in rock bands making a living in bands you never heard of that were just touring locally, or they were a cover band because music was a healthier business 20 years ago. It still exists. People still make millions of dollars on it. The Taylor Swifts of the world, but it's more it should be more free, but I could argue that there's more gatekeeping now in music than there was during the freaking record deal days, because there isn't a desire to be in it anymore. It's not the thing to be in anymore. Sure, there's bands out there, but it's nowhere near as important as it used to be. Same thing. I mean, I could argue that the music industry was more important than the film industry. There was a time where a rock star was like the top, and then it was movie star, then TV star, then way down here comic book artist. But not the case anymore. Sarah B is a member at the Geloja level. Welcome, Sarah. And we're going to have a member stream tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Nicholas Horton for £5. Hail, Gary. Castlevania has been renewed for a 4th season. And have you watched season 3 yet? No, I keep hearing mixed reviews. Nicholas, answer in the chat. Was it woke or not? I know you said it wasn't, right? I'll trust you. If you said it wasn't woke and they didn't make, I'm forgetting the girl's name, they didn't make her the key to everything, that's fine. And they didn't put the male characters back, because I don't mind it being equal, but I'm getting tired of female characters who were bit players and stuff becoming the stars of the show all of a sudden, like they did at the end of season 2 at Counterpart, and like they did it in Man in the High Castle because of the freaking politics, like they did in Westworld season 2 and season 3. Season 3, there's barely any dudes in it. And not that I need dudes, it's just I don't care about Evan Rachel Wood. She's a horrible actress. I can't believe Twitter was all a buzz because, oh my God, Tessa Thompson and Evan Rachel Wood were in a show together. It was like a pine tree and an oak tree acting. I mean, they were having a stare off. And you know that blank face that women have. You know what? Comic book readers will know it. Zach used to point it out. It's the blank expression that comic book artists give all women in comics now, which is the Brie Larson look throughout the entire film. Captain Marvel was this. You totally oppress me. I don't need you. The Zardoz is a member at the Jaloja level. Welcome. Welcome. Lady Mist for $10. Don't know if you can get some of these. I don't know if you can get some these days, but this is for coffee for those late night streams. Lady Mist, I can get coffee. You have to go on your Pete's app, order it. When you drive up, you tell them you're here. You yell outside the door, and they bring you your coffee. I believe they'll be they're closed today, but I can go tomorrow. Thank you, Lady Mist. Nikki D, welcome to the Proto Molecule level. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nikki D. And thank you, Lady Mist. There will be more late night streams. Let me check. I didn't bother to check to see if this one got ghosted like my last one. By the way, my nooner for Monday will be up on the channel on Nerdrotic Live about a half hour after this one. So a lot of people missed that live stream because notifications didn't go out or anything. And it was one of my better streams, I think. It's going to be up. It's going to be up. I did a live reaction of Gotham High and stuff. And Gary, Doctor Who Virgin here. If I want to start watching Doctor Who, where do I start? I'm through with Star Trek. All hail Gary. All hail Nerdrotic. Jeff Yerke for $9.99. Thank you. Start with the new stuff. Start with the 2005. And let me know how you like it. I think you'll like it. If you're a fan of science fiction, I think you'll like it. And if you really love it, then check out the classic stuff. But start with New Who. The first episode is called Rose. It's starring Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper. And it's written by Russell T. Davies. And it is a wonderful episode. It just had its 15th year anniversary. And I did a review on my Nerdrotic Live channel. By the way, all live streams go to Nerdrotic Live. Just so you know. Michael Henley for $11. Hail, Gary. The comic shop I would go to closed in 2009. I missed the group that shopped there. But seeing what comics have become, I don't think I'm missing the books. No. I miss the camaraderie in the comic shop too, Michael. That's why I started this channel. And there will be I will open a shop. And I'll probably broadcast from that shop. And then we can do like live broadcasts with like actual people there. That'll be fun. It'll never be too polished, but that's the whole plan. I don't know what to tell you. I think books might get better, but it's going to be a different industry. I think we're going to get more expensive, less books, more expensive, better creative talent. It'll be the creme de la creme and the a-holes. And most of the people who were divisive in comics were not the top tier talent. Now, there is the Joe Quesadas of the world, but Gail Simone, not top tier talent. Sorry. She is also ran. She is average. And she's nowhere near as good as she used to be. And that was average. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Her talent was she's completely overrated in every way, shape, or form. Mark Waid used to be a real talent. He's crazy. I won't ever carry any of his books, even back issues, in my store ever again. But he used to be a legit talent. Brian Michael Bendis used to be a legit talent. Scott Snyder, yeah, I like Scott Snyder. But I don't know. He had a good run on Batman. He was very popular for a while. A lot of people liked him for a long, long time. Sean Gordon Murphy, real talent. Like one of my favorites right now. I love him like a lot of other people do. Melissa De La Cruz, no. You will not see Melissa De La Cruz writing comic books anymore. You won't see people like Dana Schwartz writing comic books. I don't know. How the hell did she get a TV show? How did she get a TV show? Lobocop 69, 100 Polish dollars. Comics nowadays suck. Convergence, New 52, Cucklops and X-Men are all cringeworthy. However, I also don't want Captain SJW Basher. I want good stories without pandering to anyone, even us. Lobocop, sorry, it's my alarm. I couldn't agree more. I want neutrality in comics. I want what they used to be. I want what they were 10 years ago. I want what they were 20 years ago in tone. I want the stories to get sophisticated, but it's not sophisticated being a hack writer and just writing your latest comic book story. And you could tell all these people do is watch CNN all day. That's all they do. They watch effing CNN all day because they're home. They work from home and they listen to that poison all day, and it poisons our comics, and it poisons their very gullible minds. So that's part of the problem. I think it's just lack of education, lack of real world experience. That's one of the biggest problems. Even from old guys like Jerry Dugan. And then the old guys hang out with the kids a little bit too long. You know, you had a lot of work wives, as your boy Zach calls them, at Marvel Comics. And sorry, he's spot on right there. He's spot on right there. And that's why we get a bunch of crap. I think the brave bravorts of the world and stuff liked having a bunch of pretty girls running around in the office. What's wrong with that? People, you know what? It's great to have women at work. You don't want a freaking sausage fest. I understand, but just find talented ones. They exist. You just have to work to find it. That's all. Instead of hiring your buddy's buddy and your, some investor's daughter or whatever, that's what screws up an industry. But yeah, I don't want it. I've always said that. I don't want our entertainment being the extreme in the other way either. But I'll be honest with you, as somebody who is just clearly by the issue, nowadays, the left is acting a lot more like the right used to back in the 80s. Which was all constantly moralizing, morally grandstanding. Like they're the religious right and not to, disrespect anybody who was religious, but the religious right was obnoxious in the 80s. Come on. PMRC and all that stuff. And it wasn't just right, though. Listen, Tipper Gore was part of that, too. So that was that whole thing. It was another, a way of control. That's all it was. And it's worse now. It's actually worse now. And it's coming largely from the Michael Chabons in Berkeley. That's where it's coming from. I will buy a comic if Captain Marvel on her knees canonizes she's the weakest Avenger in a Fury, Black Panther, and Luke Cage Wakanda party. Deadpool breaks fourth wall directing. Kevin Smith holds the camera. TC the Mandalorian. I'd review that comic. I would. TC the Mandalorian, thank you for the 10 pounds. Dark man. Dark Star for $5. She says we act like we own it, but we don't. She's wrong. We do kind of own it. We pay for the content. If we don't exist, neither does it or she. You're right, Dark Star. Actually, I do own my comics. I'm not renting them. And I've invested a lot of time in the character of She-Hulk. There is a podcast on my website. I don't think it's on this channel anymore, where the co-host, my co-host at the time, and I talk for 2 hours how She-Hulk should have been the first female movie or female-led movie and not Captain Marvel. She-Hulk's a better character. She-Hulk's more fun. And we're talking like John Byrne era She-Hulk, not the crap that we get now. I like that character a lot. I loved her in Fantastic Four. But they're just going to, Dana Schwartz doesn't even know what she's writing. She's going to pull from the modern stuff where you're going to have basically She-Hulk looking like a man. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I'll say they cast somebody non-binary. We'll just leave it at that. You know where I'm going with that. Justin Doyle for £5. Hey, Gary, you see that new film Minority Distort where they just criticize anything or where just criticizing anything is pre-crime. Minority distort. We're just criticizing anything is pre-crime. No, I haven't, but I'm not surprised that it would exist on April Fool's Day. Just thank you for the £5. Just saying for $5. Hey, Gary, I'm the guy Dana went after on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, just saying. Was that you? I would love to have my say if you would like to hear it. Love the show. Absolutely. Just saying, email me at Gary@Nerdrotic, and maybe we get you on Friday night. I'm going to be on earlier Friday. I don't know where you are in the States. I see the American. That's funny. That's awesome. You freaking ripped her. It was great. So why don't we get you on for a segment on Friday? Critical Drinker's coming on Friday. And that's why Friday Night Tights is going to be at 2 p.m. Okay, so tune in, 2 p.m. Pacific time, Critical Drinker. Just saying, email me, Gary@Nerdrotic, and just capital letters say it's just saying, so I catch it. Thank you. That's brilliant, man. Well said, by the way. Well said. Larry, good looking out for other fans. That's all you're doing, man. Larry for $5. Second try. What chapter? What do you mean second try? Did I miss the first one? Sorry, Larry. Hang on. Was that from yesterday? Did I miss one yesterday? Larry, if I did, I'll read it again on a Square Up or on Friday Night Tights. Sorry about that. $5. Second try. What chapter or book of Lord of the Rings should be the first to get hooked on Lord of the Rings? Any illustrated versions should see as the best for Lord of the Rings. So what chapter or book of Lord of the Rings should be first to get hooked on it? Any illustrated version should be seen as best for Lord of the Rings. There's no real illustrated versions of the book. They have not done a graphic novel of Lord of the Rings. They've done one of The Hobbit. God, what's his name again? The guy who, Alan something. He is the production designer of Lord of the Rings. Did do an illustrated Lord of the Rings book that just came out. I would highly recommend getting anything. I'm forgetting his name now. Sorry, but you could just put illustrated Lord of the Rings on Amazon. What chapter hooked me for Lord of the Rings? What? I'm just making sure. Hang on. Sorry. Somebody messaged me. It wasn't a Lord of the Rings chapter. Hang on, Larry. I'll get right back to you. Sorry. Okay. An Unexpected Party in Hobbit. But what I love the entire my favorite chapter. The Council of Elrond is my favorite chapter. Or no, Shadows of the Past. Shadows of the Past. It's kind of between those two. But An Unexpected Party is what got me hooked in the whole thing, actually. Hail Slusher. Welcome to the Geloja level. Thank you. And thank you, Larry, for the $5. Sorry. God dang it. I got an update. I don't know if I can run with it, though. That's why I'm sorry about that. And it's about another shop. No, I can't. Okay. Maybe tomorrow. Sorry about that, folks. Stone Dog 1971. Welcome to the Protomolecule level. Thank you. Darth Sweeney. Welcome to the Geloja level. Thank you. I appreciate it. There will be a member stream tomorrow. We're going to do it on Hangouts. So you got to have a Google Hangouts. You can come in, make sure you have your headphones on, and you can ask me anything. You can ask me anything here. That's fine. Just to make sure you hit Nerdrotic. Gary is the future of superhero novels. Gary is the future of superhero novels, audio and audiobooks. Ask R&R in the chat. I think graphic novels, I don't know, graphic novels, I mean, they've been out there already. I think prestige books. I think the future will be more of a bookstore format. Yes, I don't think the pamphlet was going to die anyway. Okay. And by the way, did I see Robot Rob in here a long time ago? Rob, if you're out there, what's up? I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you. No, I think the future is going to be prestige books, and it'll just be a smaller industry, but it'll still be around. And that's what it is now. It's just whittled down. Remember, comics used to sell in the millions in the 50s. The Comics Code came in and whittled it down a little bit, but it was still doing pretty good. And then, the 90s crash, and they keep thinking they're going to turn it around. This is so much worse than anything else because you need a place to sell your comics. The indie people were ahead of the game on that one. Way ahead of the game on that one. Now, will that become the industry? I'll be honest, that needs to get more organized, but it will. Remember, these people are just starting out, and a lot of them had never made a comic book before. They've been artists and they've been writers, but they've never done that. So they're human beings. They need to learn, and I understand that. They get heavily criticized. Deadlines are tough. I'm not one to judge on that. I can't even start a live stream on time. So that's why I'm not going to do a book. But I would just try to get better on the deadlines, keep improving, and it could become the industry. Absolutely. You still need shops, though. Shops still need to exist at some part. Now, it's going to be, California might have 5 shops in the entire state. That's probably what it's going to be, unfortunately. Oberon says, no reason other than thank you for you, brother. Thank you, Oberon. Thank you for the 20 Danish krona. I appreciate that. There we go. All right. Darth Sweeney, welcome to the Jaloja level. Thank you, Oberon. Cracklin, Hollywood sounds miserable. Do actors need recognition? Can they be happy without it? Is the limelight where most actors find their worth and value? If so, that's thoroughly depressing. Then it's depressing, Cracklin. Thank you for the $9.99 because that is where they get their value. That is where that's their identity. I have to be, listen, I'm on YouTube. I have to be careful of that. And I am fully prepared that someday the camera's going to get shut off, the glasses are going to get folded, and I'm going to walk away. And that'll be it. And you'll know, because I'll tell you. But one day at a time, but it's not myself. This is not my worth. No. This is fun. I have so much fun. But yes, a lot of actors, well, look at them. They must be going nuts. Madonna's like naked in her bathtub. Like what? I don't know. The Imagine thing was bad. And then apparently a lot of them are getting sick. Like a very high percentage of them. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. People do weird things for attention. Prepper Chris for $1, for $2. No disrespect. Is there anything good coming out? That's not disrespectful. Is there anything good coming out? Not anytime soon. The Orville, but it's probably delayed. They were shooting it, and it still had a ways to go. It was supposed to come out at the end of the year. My guess would be it's getting delayed with everything else. The Mandalorian, Season 2. Now, somebody said Michael Biehn was hired, but it's April 1st, so I don't know if that's a April Fool's or not. I would love that casting if that was true. Robert Rodriguez is going to possibly be directing a couple episodes. Ahsoka Tano is going to be played by Rosario Dawson, who, is a giant, political wacko, but I like her as an actress, and I think she'd be great. And if they make that show a little more sophisticated and give us hour episodes, I might enjoy it. It still takes place in a universe I don't give a shit about. But I think for a lot of Star Wars fans, The Mandalorian will be something you look forward to. Is it going to save Star Wars? Hell no. It's not. Star Wars is dead. They've got The Mandalorian. They got Baby Yoda for 3 or 4 years. And they got nothing else in the pipeline. Freaking morons. And Disney's in a lot of trouble. So I don't know if anything good is coming out. I just saw Lock and Key on Netflix. It was mildly okay. But everything's delayed, man. And Marvel, this was a sad year for Marvel. Their movies weren't great anyway, and they got delayed. I don't think Wonder Woman's going to be good. I've got a bad feeling about that one. So I don't know. You tell me. Is there anything good coming out? Nicholas Horton, is Castlevania worth watching? We've got a lot of old stuff we can, and I'm going to probably do some retro reviews. That's what I'm going to have to do. What do you think of Vox Day's Archaven Comics? Says Samurai Squirrel for $2. Not a fan of Vox Day. Not a fan of Vox Day. Sorry. I don't mind if you are, but yeah, not a fan. He actually, now apparently he's making a lot of money off those. I do want to say, Samurai, that I do believe he has an imprint called Dark Legion. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can answer in the chat. Nick, listen, no offense to you. If you like Vox Day, that's fine. I'm just not a fan. But I like people like Gavin McGinnis. But he has an imprint called Dark Legion, correct? I own that. I own Dark Legion. As a matter of fact, my copyright is right under my desk with all my paperwork. Now, it depends on what he does with it, honestly, and I've got a lawyer for that stuff if I need it. But I did a comic book called Dark Legion in the 90s. It's awful. It's terrible. You will never see it. It's garbage. But I did it. I did it on my own. I paid for it on my own. I didn't crowdfund anything. I paid for it out of my own pocket when I was delivering parts, when I had no money. I printed it on pulp. And again, you will never, ever see it because it's the story's good and some of the art is good. But I mean, not to, listen, was a guy who was, I was locked up a long time ago. So I was free for like 4 years. I wanted to draw a comic, and because I was free and because I could, I did it. And I'm glad I did it. And I think it's a good concept someday that I might give to my son or give it to my friend Doug, who helped me co-write it, and they can do something with it. But it's too big of a story to write. But that being said, I own Dark Legion. I have a copyright on it. It's in the Library of Congress. And I probably should do a cease and desist if he's using that, because the last time I checked, he wasn't using that imprint. Sky Thor for £5. Gary, you telling us how much you appreciate your audience for sure makes us a lot of feel good. So let me return the favor and thank you for everything. Sick Thor for £5. Thank you very much. No, I appreciate you guys. That's how I'm going to be starting videos from now on. So that's all. It's just appreciation and gratitude. That's all I have. Right now it's my job, but it's fun. I don't start a live stream unless I have something to say, and I don't do a video unless I have something to say. If I don't have anything to say, I don't live stream and I don't make a video. Because you guys are smart and I appreciate you, and I hope I'm helping a little bit. You're definitely helping me, and I can't thank you enough. Oh, by the way, I am going to make an offer to a comic shop. Now, they're falling apart, but it's going to be, I meant to put it in the video, and I talked to your boy Zach about this because I was going to give him the money so he could pick another store, but he told me to do it in one of my videos instead. So I'm going to match his offer to a comic shop. I'm going to set up an email. I think I did already. Hang on. Pretty sure I set up. Now, you know what? Just send it to my email. So if you guys want to share this around, I will put it either in my next video or I'll start my next live stream with it, and we'll announce if somebody's interested on Friday Night Tight. So I got $1,000. $1,000 that'll go to a comic shop that has to be an open comic shop. They have to send me their business license that I can check. They have to be legitimate in business, and I will match Zach's offer of $1,000 to a comic shop just to give back a little bit. I've done a bunch of videos on it, and I have empathy for these shops. And you might be a shop who knows me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to know me. You don't have to no strings attached whatsoever. You have to have a PayPal. So I will put this out on Twitter, and I'll put it in my next live stream. Friday will be the deadline, Friday morning. So if you are a comic shop and you could use $1,000, let me know. Gary@nerdrotic.com. Big cap letters, comic shop help. Again, you have to be a legit comic shop. You have to be able to prove it. I will check. and then we'll go from there. No strings attached. Heels versus Babyface sends a pink unicorn for $1.49. Bless you, Heels versus Babyface. I saw you live streaming earlier, bagging and boarding comics. I love that. I love that idea. I love Az. He is great. He's my newest and bestest internet friend. And we'll get you back on Friday Night Tights soon. Soon, my man. Ooh, maybe this Friday, because it's earlier. We'll have to talk. John Pads for 10 Australian dollars. By the way, please subscribe to Heels versus Babyface. It is a great, great channel. I watch every one of his videos. John Pads for 10 Australian dollars. RTD's Doctor Who book, Damaged Goods, mature themes, gay men, anonymous sex, sympathetic characters he emphasized with. I didn't comprehend his restraint and real maturity until the current shallow woke TV. Russell T. Davies, unlike Chris Chibnall, is a real writer. Doctor Who was run for many, many years by a gay man. But apparently, those of us who are fans of that show are alt-right Yahtzees who didn't know he was gay, or I don't know. And apparently we've liked Star Trek for all these years, but we're just a sad corner of fandom. Oh, I got something for you, Michael Chabon, motherfracker. Sad corner of fandom. No. Oh, man, you did such a great job on your TV show. You quit. Why? Because you couldn't smoke on the freaking pot in the job? Was it too much, man? Was it like getting too heavy, man? I was like writing science fiction, and like all these Star Trek fans like wanted me to write good and shit. Whatever. It just makes you think, how does somebody like this win a Pulitzer Prize? Now, I've read Cavalier and Clay. It's a good book. Pulitzer Prize? No, it is not a Pulitzer Prize level book. I won't, maybe someday I'll come. Well, he won for obvious reasons. I'll just say that. I would get in a lot of trouble if I said, you know what, God, I should be able to say that on YouTube, but I can't. He won for obvious reasons because he thinks the way he's supposed to think. Just like why Dana Schwartz still has a job. She thinks the way she's supposed to think. Thank you, John Pads. That was a great super chat, great observation. Let's get to Dana Schwartz's tweet. I thought this might be an April Fool's joke, but it was on the 31st. We'll start out with her tweet. Sorry for the dead air there. Dana. Oh my God, Dana. Entitled little Dana. Dana, who thinks we're scared because a woman is writing She-Hulk. No, we're not scared. We know that somebody who is inexperienced is going to come, fill our favorite character's show full of her brand of politics that she's learned over the 20 whole years of her life experience after never reading a comic book and not even knowing what this character was 5 years ago. She got the job because obviously she knows somebody. There's no way that somebody saw her work on a documentary film or read her guide to Western canon bullshit and said, we need to give her the job on She-Hulk. Or was it, this will look like a very good hire. It looks like, and the fact of the matter is, there isn't enough women writers in Hollywood. There needs to actually be more because those people need to have the desire. Nobody's keeping them out. Nobody. There needs to be a desire. You need to actually be there to write. Now, maybe if some would put down the fan fiction and write some real stories, maybe there's a very talented writer. Or maybe if Hollywood did a little more work. A lot of it is just hiring friend of a friend of a friend. I'm sure there is a writer who is female who knows She-Hulk up and down, left and right. I know they exist. I don't think it's her. As a matter of fact, I know it's not her. It's not Dana. Okay, so apparently Dana made a dumb tweet. Marvel Studios She-Hulk writer Dana Schwartz compares the thing that shall not be named to the fall of Skywalker. Now, you've all seen the tweet. It's going to be a struggle. Yeah, I'm sure she has... she doesn't even know what that word is. But when we're going to get to come out the other side and pretend it never happened. But when we're going to get to come out of the other side and pretend it never happened. And she's writing a TV show. Yeah. Dana. Okay, so question for the audience. If I work for Disney and I wrote that tweet, would I still be working there? If you wrote for Disney and you wrote that tweet, would you still be working there? If you're a guy. Why don't you think she gets disciplined or fired or even called out? Is it because she's an amazing talent? Is it because Disney practices fairness? Oh, wait, no. They do fire women. They fired Roseanne. They fired James Gunn, but they rehired James Gunn, but they didn't rehire Roseanne. Do you think she's even going to get pulled into the office? No. Should she get fired? No, I don't want her to get fired. I'm just pointing out that if it was, Joe Blow, if it was like Jim Starlin, if Jim Starlin made that tweet, he'd probably get a talking to at the very least. She's not even going to get a talking to because of her female privilege. Damn straight. But she just can't stay out of it. And like, she hasn't done anything yet. That's the thing. She has yet to do anything. So Just Saying was the perpetrator, the perp of her spurging out when she said, men just need to take a breath. Hey, there's a lot of there's a lot of women working hard right now in hospitals and stuff, and we want to praise them. But you know what? Say things go on for a long, long time. Looking forward to seeing Dana on the front. We'll see how the female representation is for that. I tweeted a pretty mild opinion about a TV show on my own personal Twitter account. Oh my God, I love it when these people I tweeted something on my own personal Twitter account. No, it's not your own personal Twitter account, Dana Schwartz. It's a public forum that Twitter owns. And I hope you bothered to read the little terms of service with Twitter, the updates. They actually own all of your takes and all of your pictures and absolutely everything. So no, you don't own shit. You also don't own your scripts when you write for Disney that they're going to help you quite a bit with. It'll be just like Birds of Prey when we had that strong female director who required a man to come in and direct the fight scenes for her. That's a bad look. Dana. Oh my God, Dana. So this is Just Saying. This is a great take, by the way. I want to read it again. Men really need to take a deep breath. Really, Dana? Really? We need to take a deep breath? All men? Half the planet? Well, hopefully we're doing it 6 feet apart. Juicy Revival. So, were you on your Instagram? Where on your Instagram is there a mention that you're passionate about comics? In a medium where frauds are spotted like criminals casing a bank, how do you truly believe you'll write something interesting? I would say good luck, but that would imply you give a shite beyond your own upward mobility. So how about don't F up an iconic character created by a company that has grown the IP for nearly 50 years? Now, does she shoot back with, well, I remember in She-Hulk number 27 or anything? I honestly don't even know if that's a graphic novel or if it's a novel. That is some Cal Art shit right there. I don't know how people, I guess there's a market for this stuff. Um, it just dumbfounds me that makes money. That gets published. You want to talk about pity party? That's what they're going to have very, very soon, because the party for stuff like this is over. It's over. I think the one good thing is you're probably going to get creme de la creme entertainment, or it's just going to fall apart. Hollywood's not forever. Comics aren't forever. And we're finding that out. God, I've been saying that for years now. I've been saying there's going to be something that's going to happen to this industry that's going to kill it. It's hanging on by a thread. So I would say good luck, but that would imply you give a shit beyond your own upward mobility. I love that one right there. But this one on the bottom this is the best. This is the best. It's a connected medium with a character driven by its own original material. My question is, why are you interested beyond the money? What makes you want to write about She-Hulk when you clearly are not interested in the genre? They continued pointless seething. Why am I hearing that the industry that birthed the character she is about to write is in trouble on every major journalist outlet? After the train wreck that was Birds of Prey, I would prefer not having another writer, in quotes, enter the arena and produce a pile of garbage. Even her most ardent simps and sycophants that you aren't, that's your cue, Tim, won't support. I like that one. Juiceville added, the point of my seething, and I read that part. Oh yeah, the point of my seething is that I can smell the disingenuous agenda, driven persona, and I would like the writer to the stunning and brave guts to tell me why she is motivated to write about a comic book character. Sure hope that answer isn't only about the feminist agenda, because that would be selfish, wouldn't it? Oh, and then he doubled down. Earnest question. Do male writers deal with this? Also, imagine seriously believing anyone got into comics to make money. So she shames them. Yeah, Dana. I am betting that if you look into Dana's life, and not too deeply, not personal shit, but I'm betting she's had it pretty good. She's from an affluent part of the country. She went to Brown University, thinking she's probably had it pretty good. Don't know what she's so angry about. Maybe her one boyfriend bailed on her, or girlfriend. I don't know which one. And, you know, she sounds like a young person who hasn't had a lot of experience, but thinks she's really smart because she went to Brown and she's got a piece of paper. Yeah, good luck with your show. I will be reviewing it, Dana. Oh, yes, I will be reviewing it. And you better do a good job, because She-Hulk is a character I actually give a shit about. I actually like the character of She-Hulk. I own every single She-Hulk comic produced up until 2013. Anyone who has followed Bounding into Comics knows the answer to this question. It has nothing to do with gender. Plenty of male writers are taking our beloved franchises such as Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Terminator, Charlie's Angels, Hellboy, not to mention Marvel Comics and DC Comics, but they aren't just taking over the franchises. They are actively warping them. And in some cases, they are outright hostile to the fans that built the franchises. The people who actually buy the product and provide the investors with a return that allows people to write for these properties in the first place. Dana, you are new here. You don't understand the paying customer, fandom, this business, comic books. My best suggestion, this isn't mansplaining, this is person slanting. I would say this to my kids. If you're walking into something new and you don't know shit, keep your mouth shut. Learn as much as possible. Play the game before you can change the rules. Learn to play the game before you decide to pop off and make suggestions. Now, I know that's lost on Dana. I know it's a waste of breath. And right now, Dana, it's just about watching you. It's like watching a car accident. because we know how this story is going to end. You will not be subverting our expectations. You will come out with a show that will have a bunch of women being strong, brave, and powerful. A lot of them will be scientists. They'll be in charge. They'll be the boss. All the men will be beta. They will be cowardly, duplicitous, or downright evil. Whoever plays She-Hulk will probably have that same blank look in her face. She won't earn anything. And she'll probably not be connected to Bruce Banner in any way, shape, or form. She'll get her power on her own. She will not be connected because you cannot receive power from a man. There'll be a lot of sitting around. There'll be quite a few shots taken at men. I guarantee it, considering her Twitter. We'll get quite a few shots per episode. And there'll be a lot of cooking by men. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll come out and admit it. And if we get this full-on sexy She-Hulk, because the reasons She-Hulk got popular in the first place is because, it was sex appeal. Sex appeal. There's nothing wrong with sex appeal. Star Trek Picard writer Michael Chabon made it perfectly clear in a recent interview. He wrote Picard to piss off and provoke people. And by the way, if you watch my Picard review, I caught that article came out the day Picard, the finale was released, and I saw that article right before I went live and almost lost my mind. Numerous Star Wars fans could not be happier if Rian Johnson never touches Star Wars again after what he did to Luke Skywalker, the Force, and the entire Star Wars canon in The Last Jedi. I have personally criticized Johnson as well as other Star Wars writers like Cavan Scott and their lack of understanding of Star Wars. Like that's, and look at that. Thanks, John. Good looking out. We can get past that. You guys have seen that video. Nevertheless, Schwartz continues with her victimhood status. She sets up a new argument that even the idea of questioning a woman on their writing qualifications is sexist. Dana, I am outright questioning your qualifications to write She-Hulk. I am not sexist. I think it's a very good question. I don't see anything in your background. I don't see anything on your Instagram. I don't see anything on your Twitter that tells me beyond 6 months ago, you even knew who She-Hulk was. Yes, I question your talent. Prove us wrong. Write a great episode. You know what? I was convinced The Witcher was going to be shite. Prove us wrong, Dana. But you know what? When she writes, and I think she will, a crappy episode of television, and we criticize it, we'll be sexist then too. So honestly, find a new argument, Dana. Just go, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm really passionate about this character. No, I didn't grow up with it, but I'm learning as much as possible. I read every single John Byrne book, and I love it. I doubt she likes John Byrne's run if she read it at all. And forget the slot stuff. It's crap. The idea that I need to somehow prove my worthiness in order to work in a certain genre, it's just a certain genre, folks, is incredibly toxic. No, it's called fandom. Welcome to fandom, and you're new here, and you decided to call all of us toxic. I wish you luck in your future endeavors. Dana, you're dumb. You're a moron. You went to Brown. Hey, that goes to show you, kids. You can go to is Brown Ivy League? I don't care. It's a big time university, and it looks like her parents wasted their fucking money because their kid is a dumbass. Now you get into something new. You know, when I went to my first AA meeting, you know what I did? I called everybody a bunch of assholes. That's what I did. First day on the job at Tesla, I told everybody to fuck off. We're part of this. We're the reason you got this job. Well, no, the reason you got this job is because you have boobs, Dana. You didn't get the job on your talent because you have none. You knew the right people, and I would bet my life against this being a merit hire. But we'll see. We'll see. Hope you write the best episode of television ever. And if it's good, I'll admit it. I don't care. I'll go, you know what? She's annoying, but she's a talented writer. A lot of talented writers are annoying as hell. But I think you just jumped to the annoying part first. Her first argument is just completely laughable. I agree, John. And she even contradicts herself in her second point by admitting that there are people she needs to explain her experience and credentials to. By the way, I need to finish what she was saying, so I'll reread it again. That idea that I need to somehow prove my worthiness in order to work in a certain genre is incredibly toxic and also sexist. Yeah, that's right. Bet you didn't know I was going there. The only people to whom I need to explain my experience to, my credentials, and my passion are the people that hired me. Well, they're not going to rehire you, Dana, unless it's a FU hire like they've been doing, but they're not going to be able to afford any more FU hires. And by the way, if you feel good about this job, you work at the same overall company that Miss Zoe Quinn works at. So they'll hire anybody. It's not even a special place to work. I would have loved to have worked at Marvel back in the past. I wouldn't work at Marvel ever. I would never, not that they would ever ask me, but never. As for the second argument, if you take it as is, she is technically correct. She only needs to explain her experience and credentials and passion to those who hired her. But if the show fails to capture an audience, I'm sure Disney and Marvel Studios executives might come calling if a fan reaction to the show is wildly negative. Schwartz will learn that executives are beholden to the people who are purchasing their products. Undeterred by her own hypocrisy, Schwartz then claims fan gatekeeping is profoundly toxic subculture, the people who think that enjoying a thing gives them ownership over it. I'm sure you borrowed that take from somebody because you don't know enough about fandom to even have that take, Dana. Yeah. Dana. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hang on. Yeah, you can still see that. I'll get back to you guys in just a second. Hang in there. We're gonna wrap this one up in just a mo. But Dana is just, I mean, she's a content maker. I don't even want to talk about her anymore, but she is like the prime example of everything wrong that's Marvel. You know, Zach did the video. Captain Marvel is everything wrong with Marvel Comics. Dana Schwartz is everything wrong with Hollywood. Absolutely everything wrong. No gratitude. Can't keep her mouth shut. I mean, you know what? It's one thing to whinge about the Orange Man or Life, but going after the fans openly before your show even comes out, man, she must feel confident in her job. And you know what? You don't get the best out of your employees when they're that comfortable. You want your employees to be happy. You don't want them to be this comfortable where they can go after a fan, tell them to F off, and not have to worry about any repercussions. It's poor management. It's poor management. But, Dana, can a man have an opinion? Dana, if a man who supports the president came after a fan like that, do you think he would last a nanosecond at Disney if he got hired there in the first place? No. The answer is no. He probably wouldn't get hired because he supports the president. That is problematic. Okay, I'm only posting this here to show how this guy has finally shown his whole ass. He is terrified. Just saying, were you terrified of Dana? Was Dana scaring you, Just Saying? I can hear Just Saying quivering from here. At the prospect that women might actually genuinely love writing the same character he enjoys. It would tear his worldview apart. Okay, Dana. I challenge you to write a She-Hulk show as good as John Byrne's run. I challenge you. Meet that challenge. Rise to it. Shut up on social media and write a good TV show. There are no more problems. My guess, after She-Hulk comes out in about 3 years, if you're still writing it, we're going to hear in the paper, or not the paper, God, show my age. We're going to hear on Screen Rant that She-Hulk was only meant to be one season. It was meant to be a bridge between two MCUs. There will be no second season of She-Hulk because it wasn't meant to be. We really enjoy Dana and we hope that she comes back someday, but we're really not going to ask her. And then you'll be all, how come Disney doesn't call me anymore? It's fine, Dana. Most human beings will not be watching your She-Hulk. To answer your question, when people bought comics, they were excited about the creators. Jim Lee, for example, a man but Asian, that should temper your rage, was inspiring to young readers, girls and boys. The reason he was inspiring, he was driven and passionate. He used to be driven and passionate. Just saying. Not really there anymore. He was driven and passionate. He had about the characters he created and the stories he told that fit the classic storytelling tropes. When he created Image with Liefeld McFarlane et al., they made a lot of money. The passion drove the profit. Most comic success stories stem from the fact the writer is creating something out of joy, not hate or agenda. When have I created? Nothing. That's not my job. However, I am the consumer of the products that you are trying to sell to me. My larger point, wouldn't it be easier for you to write stories you want to write and not try to force your way into and it ends right there. And that's it. And if Just Saying wants to come on Friday, we'll have him come on Friday. Back to you, chat. Gosh, it makes your IQ points go down. Brown University, ladies and gentlemen. Brown University. I'd like to thank Brown University for producing Jana Schwartz. It looks a lot like the brown that's produced on the San Francisco sidewalks. Meowhotep. Meowla Hotep. Or Meowlat. You're going to have to tell me how to pronounce that. Your clever names in chat. So Meowlathotep for $10. Oh, there it is right there. Meowlathotep. So it's Meowlathotep. Doesn't roll off the tongue. So is it supposed to be Bubba Hotep's cat? So it's Meowlathotep. Thank you, though, for putting it in there. Have you seen 1970s Doctor Strange movie? I own it. Have I seen it? Hundreds of times. Hundreds. It was awful, but it was the only superhero thing that I had for a long time. Remember when sci-fi was actually called sci-fi and they would rerun the Hulk and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange? Yeah. I own it on VHS, a bootleg, and I own it on a DVD. Speaking of schlock, still enjoy watching it. It's terrible, 70s, but I like it. And I also like the trial of the Incredible Hulk with Rex Smith as Daredevil, and they have Thor versus the Hulk. Yeah, it was good. Thank you, Meowlathotep. The Price is Right review for $5. Oh, I agree with you completely about the Arrowverse. I just like certain moments, and it makes me wish that it was done by someone who actually knows comics. They snuck in once in a while, Price is Right reviews. Like they would have things that were really cool. You know, I would have loved to have seen a proper Crisis. When I first saw that in Flash season 1, I got excited. I didn't know Flash. If you go back and listen to my very first podcast for Nerdrotic, it's on the channel. It's from the Starbucks here in San Francisco at West Portal. It's me and my friend Dennis. And it's about an hour long, and we are praising the Arrowverse. Yes, I am praising CW because I thought that's what we were going to get. But in that podcast, we say, I hope it doesn't go full CW. Well, the CW went full CW, and it ruined future DC shows. It ruined the prospects of us getting a good DC show. Now, what's his face who runs it? I'm forgetting his name now, conveniently. Greg Berlanti now has a monopoly on DC shows. So you know you're going to get crap. The Green Arrow show on HBO Max, crap. It's all going to be garbage. And honestly, the best superhero television ever done was Daredevil. Daredevil season 1 and 2, best superhero television series ever done. That is your benchmark. That's what you need to do. Luke Cage was too boring. Iron Fist wasn't about Iron Fist. And Defenders was a joke. Jessica Jones season 1 was only good because of David Tennant. Everything else was garbage. Berlanti's garbage. But if you want to make it like Daredevil, now we're talking. But you need to get So Drew Goddard was the force behind Daredevil season 1. He ended up leaving, but he was the force behind Daredevil season 1. That's the guy you need to get running your TV shows. He kind of wants to do the movie stuff, but he understands superheroes, and he is from the Joss Whedon school, but he doesn't do the Whedon speak thing. He's more of a linear guy. Drew Goddard. Marcus Cato for $1.99 would love a stream about your vinyl soundtracks. Sure. We could do that on Nerdrotic Live on a chill stream. We can I wish I could play stuff for you. Maybe I'll do like a stream on my website where I won't get hit with any copyright strikes. I'll just feed a stream through my website someday, not through YouTube, and then we can do something like that. That'd be fun. Eric Stuller for $5. John Krasinski's doing great work on his new channel. He just shared good news, and unlike the Imagine crowd, he doesn't make it about him. Well, that's good. That's good for him, the movie star. Yeah, I saw that he's doing that, and that's good that he's sharing good news. I like that. But honestly, this is about us. I'm not really big on movie stars coming over here. Sure, they can come over here, and they're gonna. And they're gonna get the priority. It's amazing that his channel is like, getting so many views. When the minute this thing is open, he'll abandon it. So I hope he, I heard in real life that guy's kind of a douche, but Eric, I don't know. That might be wrong. I hope he gets, I guess he'll be okay as Reed Richards. I don't know. I would like to say, I know Tennant's already been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I would love to see David Tennant as Reed Richards. I think he'd be better. Give him a little more personality, but I think he'll be good. And the problem is we're not going to get a proper Jack Kirby looking Fantastic Four. So you'll have to roll with that. But hopefully it'll look somewhat comic accurate. I love the Fantastic Four. That is pure comic book. I don't know if it even works on a film, and I don't care. It works in comic books. SCC Physics Professor is a member at the Geologia level. Wow. Are you a real physics professor? You're way too smart for my channel. But thank you. Welcome to the Geologia level. Alex Wyman for $4.99. Hail, Gary, bucking the trend and getting into comic books for the first time. I like X-Men, so any suggestions on where you start? You're awesome. Absolutely. Alex at the beginning. Now, there is a couple of ways you can go. All right, I'll show you. Now, you can get the X-Men Essentials if you just want to read it. They're not in color, but they're cheap. They're available on Amazon. You can get them secondhand, and you get a bunch of comics. You get the first 30 or something like that. And I call them the coloring books because you can color in. Or I think there is, oh my God, I forgot what. Is it Epic? There's an essential version that's color, but I forgot what the moniker was. I think it's Epic. Epic Collection. Yeah, it's Epic Collection. Yeah, Children of the Atom. Epic Collection. Here you go. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. This is where you got to start. It helps if I get the right window there. Sorry about that. Right there. That is on Amazon right now for $34. $34, I think. That's you always start at the beginning. That would be my guess. If you don't want to do that and you want to jump ahead, then I would start at the Phoenix Saga. I mean, it's kind of basic biatch, but that's where you start. I would start at the beginning though, because that's the real shit right there. Children of the Atom. There you go. It's never too late to start comic books, especially the old stuff. Oh my Lord. Glad I didn't pop that one up. Alex Lyman for $4.99. Somebody sent me a private message with a topless girl washing her hands. Yeah, I want you to think, what would Mrs. Nerdrotic think if somebody sent me that message? Just, I mean, I don't mind it. It's funny, but I'm glad I didn't show it on the live stream. Ah, Jesus. But you're awesome, Alex. Sadokar 7th Legion for £2. Can't post comics yet as locked down here, mate. Oh, you can't post them? Can you email them? Well, are you making one? Or you can't post them, like send them. Ah, well, we can send stuff. We're locked down too. But I mean, like, how locked down are you? Are you guys like locked in your houses? Because we can, we're locked down, but we can go to the post office and stuff. You still have to, that's essential. I mean, folks, you're not locked down. I'm sorry, but I've been locked down. I've been locked down with no human contact for 30 days. That's locked down. I was locked down for 3 weeks in a 10 by 10 with 5 other dudes and 1 Stephen King book. That's locked down. I was always a Marvel Comics reader through the 70s and 80s, but a Chinese Batman? A gay Alfred? It's like I'm living in an alternate reality. Sparkus Aurelius for $5. You are. You absolutely are. It's sad what they've done to our favorite characters. It really has. IK1906 for $5. Marvel DC have been screwing over creators forever. Look at what happened to King Kirby, Siegel and Schuster, etc. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It doesn't make it okay. When you hear, Hollywood's always been left. And I know what you're saying. I'm not trying to clap back at you, but Hollywood's always been left, and people have always screwed over people, and da-da-da-da. Doesn't make it fucking okay. It doesn't make it okay. And especially when, back then, people could get away with shit, and it got swept under the rug. Just imagine how many people got screwed over. Now it's a lot harder. A lot of eyes on everything now. My reading list is for Voldemort time. Usagi Yojimbo, Stan Sakai, Bone, Jeff Smith, Batman Noir, Why the Last Man, The Boys, for the 10th time, Isolation Here I Come. Best to you and the family, Gary, and thank you for your service. Lobo Cop 69, thank you for yours. Thank you for the 50 Polish pesos. That's good reading list right there. Stan Sakai, good dude. Marvel didn't help Stan Lee alive. Marvel didn't help out Stan Lee alive and being abused. No one person came to help that man out, but they made sure to use him as a shield. Jeremy Joestar for $5. You're absolutely right. Todd McFarlane checked in him, and Kevin Smith. Todd McFarlane went to go visit him. So Todd McFarlane's the man. I love Todd McFarlane. Toddy M. There was a time where I thought he was a complete moron, okay? Especially when he bought the Mark McGuire ball. He had his phase, but I think Toddy M is... He's been a great businessman for toys and for comics. A great entrepreneur. And I loved his art. I kind of miss him drawing. I know he doesn't want to do it anymore, but I love his freaking art. Oh my God, I love his art. Welcome to the Geloja level. Mugskins. I can say it. Thank you, Mugskins. Welcome to the Geloja level. The P corner is off to the left. MT Mitgusa for $2. Castlevania Season 3 was a bit woke, but still good. Freaking Warren Ellis going woke. How sad is that? Come on, Warren. I don't know. He surrounds himself with a lot of those. A lot of those people that, to the comics gate folks. Warren Ellis surrounds himself with a lot of people who are trouble for you all. Just so you probably know that. The more I hear about Hugh Jackman, his great warmth to fans and his compassion in helping Len Wein, the more I love him. 200-watt studio for $5. Hugh Jackman, solid dude. Solid actor. One of the people that used to be a major provocateur, she'll go nameless for now, back in the day for the Comics Gators, used to work for me for 10 days. For 10 days. Screw it, I'll say Augur. Sean Carter is a member at the Geloja level. Welcome, Sean. Thank you. I appreciate you. Well, I can tell you that Miss Augur was trouble for a lot of creators. Can't prove anything. Can't prove a damn thing. But she would attach herself to creators like Warren Ellis. I think she ran his forum for a little while. And she worked for me for 10 days and she didn't do any work and she talked a lot of shit about creators in the industry. And then she pissed off my manager so much that he threatened to quit. So then I got rid of her. Modalicious for $2. And she came as a recommendation by somebody. Modalicious for $2. New Marvel is unimaginative and talentless fanfic. Modalicious for $2. New Marvel is unimaginative and talentless fanfic. Yeah. Mickey Etchinson. Sorry, Mickey. Mickey Etchinson donates $1. If you want to ask a question, ask in the chat. Just hit Nerdrotic, Mickey. I hate that the dollar doesn't allow you to ask something. I think that's lame. Sean, welcome to the Geloja level. Modalicious, you're Modalicious. Don't you go change a Modalicious. New Marvel is unimaginative and talentless fanfic. That is, you're disrespecting fanfic right there. Code Monkey for $2. Did Big Bang Theory help or hurt comics? Hurt the industry. It helped pop vinyls. It helped bring in a lot of normies who didn't buy comics. So they didn't buy comics. It helped t-shirt sales. It helped shift comics into a lifestyle brand. So overall, it helped Marvel. It hurt the comic book industry. Because that's the only one I care about. Like, I like selling toys in my shop, but it's a comic book shop. It's not a toy shop. It's a comic book shop. It's not a card shop. It's not a t-shirt shop. It's not a tchotchke shop. It is a comic book shop, and that's what it will be first and foremost. I'll sell other stuff because I like to do that. But the 70% of my shop will be dedicated to comic shops. Now, my hope is someday, if I get out of here, I'm going to have to rent when I get here, but I'd like to buy. Well, okay, if I was given my dream, it would be a movie theater, an old movie theater. I'd like to buy that building, make the front part a comic shop, and then you charge $2 or $3, and you always have like old serials running or like Captain America stuff or Batman, and then like, decent movies too, for $2. You go in there and you get a thing of popcorn and a hot dog, and you go back there and you watch a movie or you hang out. Then we could do kids parties. We could do events in there. It would be dope. Now I can't do that in California because buying a theater in California will require millions of dollars. But if I go to, like somewhere else, maybe it's possible. Adam Wolfer for $20. No, Castlevania isn't woke. For Trevor and the girl, it ends very dark. But for Alucard, he befriends 2 Japanese humans that want to learn magic and how to kill vampires. But they double cross him and he kills them. Wow, that's dark. Okay. Adam, I'll watch it. Damn it. I'm watching it this weekend. You got me. Ultra Terran for $10. Thank you for the donation. And then we got a unicorn. We got a unicorn sighting from Matt G for $1.49. A rainbow unicorn. Thank you very much. Which, of course, is a phallic symbol. And I'll repeat again. If you watch Unicorn Store with Brie Larson, just imagine the unicorn as a giant penis. And it changes the story completely. Lobocop 69 for 25 pesos. What do you think about Warren Ellis? I think I just said it. I know his views, But Planetary is, I think, my favorite book. Just epic. Warren Ellis is subversive in nature. He always has been. Used to like the drugs quite a bit, in my opinion. I've never seen him do drugs or anything. And he loves attention, and he's an amazingly talented writer. Planetary is one of my all-time favorite books as well. Planetary, okay, so I have, under my drawing table here, I have a bunch of these. I'll show you. I'm a big fan of, well, I got all my mail on top here. These. Little dust. These are little short boxes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I have 20 up here. These are my creme de la creme, the comics I have to have close to me so I can just pull them out. Planetary is in a box right over there under the Iron Throne with my Trump action figure sitting on the Iron Throne. It's to trigger people, okay? So you bring them out. You got Trigger Trump. Got this for $40 at Comic-Con.
I have no choice but to tell you, you're fired.
That's right. Okay. So, Planetary's brilliant. I love it. Read it. It's good stuff. Nick Purett for $5. Left has always tried to control people. Remember the 93 congressional hearings on video games led by Joe Lieberman and Herb Kohl, both Democrats. That's true. That's true. I'm not going to get in a left-right debate from the 90s and the 80s, though, because I was 18, and all I saw was Tipper Gore and the PMRC, and I hated it. But no, they've always been somewhat authoritarian. I'll never forget the first time, oh my God, I'm blanking on the comedian's name now. I went to Humphreys by the Bay, and I saw... okay. Dennis Miller. I saw Dennis Miller. He did a live show at Humphreys by the Bay in San Diego. It's a series of summer concerts that are right by the bay. It's beautiful. I saw Spinal Tap there too. And he opened his act, and this was in 93. And he opened his act. This is when he started shifting. And he said, I never thought Big Brother would be from the left. And I don't know, this came as a shock because I always saw him as the other side when we went to go see him. And when he started his show, my friend Doug, official Dougie J, if he's in the chat, he was at the show with me. Where I was like, whoa, what? And the show was great. He came very, very much from the center, but he made the point. He was like one of the first actors to step out and go, wait a minute, this is getting weird. I never thought Big Brother would come from the left. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, good point. As a member of the alphabet community, I agree with you far more than the SJWs in comics. Peter Kamel for $5. Welcome, Peter. And as a member, as an individual in that alphabet community, you are always welcome here, and I thank you. And I don't mean to offend anybody in that community. As a matter of fact, I'm in San Francisco. Do the math. I see you as people, always have, always will. With sovereign rights and the ability to do whatever the hell you want to do. My philosophy on life is live and let live. Don't tell me what to do. I won't tell you what to do. You can like whoever you want. You can love whoever you want. You can marry whoever you want. You can live wherever you want. Just don't tell me what to do. And I'll leave you alone. We'll be friends. We'll be friends. So, Peter, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Cracklin for $5. Gary, in a YouTube search for Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord before you buy, just look at the thumbnail pic of Gamerex. It's you and your helmet. Okay, that is, what are you searching, Cracklin? Mount and Blade 2 Banner, is that a game? Or is it a manga? All right, I'll look. Is it just a Google search? Oh, shit. That's my helmet. that you sent me. You're right. But that's not me. That's just Gamer X.
And
yeah, I don't know. That can't be my face. I mean, it's in a suit. Yeah, that's weird. Oh my God, that guy's got how many subs? Who is it? Oh, it's GamerAx. He's got 5.65. Okay, that tells you how big of a platform YouTube is, folks. GamerAx, I have never heard of him. Never heard of that person. 5.65 million subs. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. But it's most definitely the helmet. Hang on. We can show off the helmet here. Just a mo. That's the helmet. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I am ready. I am ready. If shit goes down, I've got my Aragorn sword right there. I've got my helmet. I'm ready to storm the beach. Do American comic shops sell manga? If not, I think you should make sure that your comic shop will. Frank S., it depends on the shop. Most sell some, but not many sell a lot. Now, there is a shop in Japantown and here in San Francisco that is a huge manga shop, and it's been there forever. It's hard to compete against them. I mean, because it's in Japantown, and it's in Japantown in San Francisco where a lot of Japanese people live. It's manga central. So, yes. But Isotope here in San Francisco, run by James Sim, he sells manga. He has a lot of manga knowledge, so that's what helped his shop early on. Absolutely, Frank, you are correct. Sell more manga. That if you want to live, sell more manga. Gary, will you review EVS Cyberfrog on the show? Says old Taku DDD for $2. Like in a live stream, yeah, I'll do it sometime. I can review it tomorrow. I have to reread it. I haven't read it since I got it. So I will reread it and I'll give a brief review on it tomorrow. Why not? I can review Richard's book as well. And Tug's book. I got Tug's book. I got Richard's book. Oh, and you know what? Just to be fair, I got Svi Levetkin's book, which I'm on the cover. That's fucking dope. And where'd it go? I got Doug Ernst's book too. So you know what? I'll read those 6 comic books and I'll review all of them. How's that sound? But I got Doug's book too. And hail Doug Ernst if you're out there. Check out his blog. Check out his channel. That dude is OG. He's been taking on the SJWs before Comicsgate even existed. He's been taking on Dan Slott for a long, long time. We're going back 10 years. So if you want like a historian, a true historian on all the origins of this, listen to Doug Ernst. T800 for £2. I like Dana Scully better. By the way, rewatch X-Files. I like Dana Scully. Who doesn't like Dana Scully? I think everybody liked Dana Scully better, right? Yeah. Do you know she almost came to my store this close to showing up at my grand opening because one of our friends knew her and it almost happened, but things got conflicted. Didn't happen. It's okay. Shade Draws for $5. Did a new Warriors redesign video on my channel. Check it out, Gary. Shade Draws. I will check it out. I got to write it down, though. I didn't bring my pen with me this time. Where's my pen? I don't have a pen. I'm going to have to remember that. Sorry. I will. You know what? This dumb thing, usually it lets you link to your channel directly from the chat, and it won't do it. I don't know why. Thank you, Shade Draws. I'll check it out. I'm sure it's better. I'm absolutely sure it's better. Sight unseen. Telma ML for $1.99. Gary, I have Corona. I can't say it. I can't say it though, but it's funny. It's funny, Telma, but I can't even come close to saying it. I hope you understand why. But everybody read it. It's CORAZONVIRUS. Funny. Telma, welcome. How are you? It sucks that we're going to develop YouTube speak eventually. It's going to happen. Eric Bailey for $10. This is where capitalism shines. As Marvel and DC dies, another hungrier studio will rise. Better stories and heroes will come for the people to be inspired by. The human spirit never dies. Bad companies do. Oh, I love that. Yes, Eric Bailey. You're right. Something good will come out of this. And listen, maybe Disney dies too. Bob Iger. You want to talk about sheer fucking hubris? Bob Iger. You know every company is going to work differently now after this. Like there's going to be a grace period for massive purchases. Like if you're going to buy a Fox, like that purchase there has to be an escrow period of like 2 years. Because you just can't do that. Look at there's two major mergers going on during this. Well, I mean, the Fox merger's done. And I bet you Disney wishes they could just get rid of them at this point. Birdie Eve for £5. I got a little tipsy the other day. Apparently Drunk Me wants to learn the banjo. It arrived today from eBay. Ah, right on. Yes. That's what I told Mrs. Nerdrotic. We should learn a language. Like, I think I want to learn the Black Speech and Dothraki, Not Klingon. I don't want to learn Klingon. Maybe Dothraki, maybe the Black Speech. I'm not sure. Michael Padula for $2. Appreciate you, sir, and I love that shirt. Why, thank you. This is my these are my work shirts that I bought a long time ago, and I used to wear these to the comic shop. And I've got Marvel ones and DC ones. And this, because I used to work in automotive. And I used to wear red cap shirts like this all the time. Baked Penguin 1 for £10. We all know that Trailblazer's backpack is full of bear claws. But the Access media won't admit it because of body positivity. And the media will view NAs keeping animal parts as stereotyping. Yep, you're right. You're right. Raging Raptor for $1.99. Dana clearly is from the dark side of the Schwartz. Ah, yes. And yes, T800, I know, I like that Dana better too. Dana Scully is a lot better. There's a lot of better Danas than Dana Schwartz. She's not the best Dana in the world. Just jumped on me. Hang on. Michael Padula for $2. Appreciate you. Oh, and love the shirt. Thank you. And I read that. Raging Raptor. Yes. Joseph Nash for $2. Repairing my condo right now. My Straship. What happened to your condo? Or it's something you're doing? Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good downtime. Like work on the house. I got to work on my backyard. You got me to revisit Miller, Daredevil, and Ronin. Gold. Oh, it's absolute gold. It's absolute gold. As a matter of fact, that made me think of something about Daredevil. I want to dig up my Daredevils. Now, yeah, all this talk of comic books makes me want to blow the dust off my collection for sure. It's been a while. Declan Lyons for £5. Gary, what did you use to recommend to kids around 8 to read? My nephew's birthday is soon, and I want to get him something with broad appeal. I always recommended kids the books I read. Kids books, nah. Go find some, you can go, well, I don't know. You're going to have to go on Amazon. Here, I'll find it for you. Does your kid like Spider-Man? He's 8, okay? So you get... See, kids that age really like a lot of superheroes. So Spider-Man is tends to be, I mean, he's got the good villains and stuff. I would get your kid. I don't know if he'd like Fantastic Four. That's tough sell. I'm going to go back to the Epic Collection. Because these things are cheap and you start at the beginning. So here we go. And I'm not kidding about this stuff. Don't give them anything new. You start them with the stuff that we read because it's written for his age anyway. And you're getting him into the real stuff. I did this with my kid and he loves it. He loves Silver Age DC. Now, if you want, I would recommend that. So we'll start with Marvel here. Okay. And again, we just go to the Epic Collection. There you go. That's Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's $27 on Amazon. And you get how many issues with that? I think it's like 10. It's like 10 issues. For DC, I would do this. I forgot what the DC ones were called. Silver Age. Amazon, sorry. Yeah, I would go Avengers or just go Avengers. Yeah, I don't want to look for that all day. Sorry to waste your time on that one. God, screw this. But what I would do in my store is I would have a spinner rack with a bunch of bronze reprints. So World's Greatest Comics. Yeah, any reprints of Marvel and DC from 70s and 80s or 60s issues. And they would be on my spinner rack for 25 cents for the kids. Just go find that stuff. If you have a local comic shop, go up to the owner and go, hey, do you have any dollar books that are Silver Age or Bronze Age that have Batman, Superman, Avengers, Justice League? They'll probably have one. I went to one in Palm Springs called Oasis Comics, got Nerdrotic Jr. 2 short boxes full of Silver and Bronze Age DC for $300. It was all like $1 a book. So I would do that. And you know what? If you can get him a good stack of older comics, it looks cool as hell to get him that for his birthday, and it costs you like $10 or something like that. $20. That's what I would do. Don't get him the kids, the stuff they produce now that's children's books are written by children who don't understand children. The Sign of Zeta for $5. Hey, Gary, did you know what they made Maxima, a character from Superman? Did you know they made Maxima, a character from Superman, gay now? Not surprised. Not surprised. At all. Oh, I see in there, Robert. Hang on. I'm almost there. Nettle Nerds. Hail, Gary. Doing a long man today. I see. Good on you. Yes, a little bit. I mean, what time? Yeah, I'm going 3 hours. I usually go 2. Why not? I got my video done today, and I've got the rest of it. I'm a kind of free. Well, I got to work on my Picard review. So yeah, let's live stream for another 6 hours. I'm good with that. Daniel Drangle for $5. Have you read Pretty Violent? One of the few current series I actually enjoy. What are your thoughts? I have not read it. Dang Drangle. Is it Image? Pretty Violent? I haven't seen it. Hang on. Violent. Image. Of course it's Image. And maybe I'll check it out if you think it's good. Derek Hunter. I'm not into that art style, but if you like it, it's very, I I get the book. I'm super traditional when it comes to my comics. I'm pretty straight edge. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Edgy number one for the reason you get good books out of Image once in a while, creator owned. Edgy number one, 5 pounds. Classic real Star Trek asks you to think. Kurtzman Trek tells you what to think. Long live real Star Trek. Yeah, and then he forgets what he told you 2 episodes ago, and he tells you something contradictory. And the great Burnett work. The great Burnett work is here. He's got breaking news. I hear Styx is reuniting with Dennis DeYoung, and they're doing a new concept album, Mr. Picardo. I'm so excited, Gary. So excited. Yes. Dennis DeYoung will never go back to Styx, will he? Isn't there like a big schism? Thank you, Robert Meyer Burnett, for the $20. Bless your heart, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Picard sucked. But apparently, no, you know what, Robert? I hope you're well. I'd like to welcome you to the alt-right Yahtzee wing of YouTube now, because apparently you're part of that party too. You big alt-right Yahtzee, you. Just because you don't like a bad TV show. Everybody, check out Robert Meyer Burnett. The Burnett work is a fun and peaceful place to go. They basically just pop culture. They're there to be fans. So check them out. Check them out. Cesario JPN for $5. Gizmodo has a very infuriating article. Really, Gizmodo? You don't say. Our fascination with canon is killing the way we value stories. Disney Star Wars takes front and center. I'm on it. I'm on it, Cesar. Thank you for the $5 and the heads up. If I wasn't at the tail end, I would read that thing right now. Hey, how did that come out tomorrow? Are you from the future, Cesario ZPN? Because I'm serious, man. I'm totally tripping right now, brah. Hang on. I got to get the right thing up. This article's from the future. Whoa. It's April 2nd, 2020. Trips me out, dude. I will check that out, and I will save it for tomorrow. I'm sure it'll properly piss me off, Cesario JPN. I appreciate you. Red for £5. Gary, I would encourage you to watch Castlevania. Also, thanks for being awesome. I've watched Castlevania. I just haven't seen season 3. I liked seasons 1 and 2. Everything now that comes out now has to emphasize their female character. And then once they start doing that, that female character stops acting female and stops being the character that I enjoyed before. And then they have to turn that female character into strong lead automaton thing that doesn't do anything wrong. And it's a blob of flesh that I don't care about anymore because it's flawless, because it's being written by men who are scared to death to write women. But I can't imagine Warren Ellis being like that. I can't. Ryan Champ. So I will see it. I will. Hail, Gary. Check out Once and Future by Boom. I will. Ryan Champ. Darth Sweeney for $2. Are you a fan of Red Dwarf? And I did not watch Red Dwarf. Somebody was kind enough to send me season 1, and I am going to embark on watching it right after I finish Blake 7, which I started. And I'm liking it so far. It's very, very much, very British science fiction. I freaking love it. Watching old stuff doesn't bother me anymore. I love it. It used to bother me when I was younger, but, I was dumb. Not saying I'm smart now. I'm just less dumb. So, there you go. Kyle Gardner for $2. Hail, Gary. It's my first super chat. Well, I'll be gentle, Kyle. I'll be gentle. I have been watching your live streams since around December, and I greatly enjoy watching your live streams. What are your thoughts on the Kingsman comics and movies? Love them. I even like the second one. Matthew Vaughn is one of the best directors out there. Come on, Robert Meyer Burnett. You got to agree with me on that one. I love Matthew Vaughn. Layer Cake is Amazing movie. Absolutely freaking amazing movie. Kingsman is one of my favorite comic book movies. I love the comic book. I like Mark Millar. I'm a big Mark Millar fan. But when Mark Millar is bad, he's bad. Like he's bad. But I like a lot of his stuff. Chrononauts is pretty good. The bondage one he did, I didn't like that one very much. But you know, I like some of his stuff. A lot of his stuff actually. So yeah, I like Kingsman a lot. Matthew Vaughn is a director who he did X-Men First Class, but he was lorded over by Singer and Fox, so he was like really tempered. I would love to see Matthew Vaughn direct a Star Wars movie or direct fucking any superhero movie. I mean, dude, the fight scene in Kingsman is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I know the symbolism pisses off people because you're straight up jabbing religious people and you know, white folk in the South. I understand that. It was a good scene. I didn't think it was that mean, but I know some people were like, fuck these guys for that. Yeah, I understand that. There is still plenty of prejudice and bigotry to throw around, but it's just okay to throw it around to poor white people now. Gary sent you an email about who, not breaking news. Nettled Nerds. Was it the one where we got the 14th Doctor? Was it that one? Nettled Nerds? Was it the April Fools? What's this? Oh, you got a BBC complaint? Was that you? Oh, wow. That's like in writing. That's cool. I don't see it. Well, I'll be live tomorrow. We're going to go over the What Culture video tomorrow. And then we're going to get Mark Zickery. So stay tomorrow. Tomorrow, it'll be a morning nooner. And the second half will have my Mark Zickery interview that poor Mark has been waiting for. We're going to pump his Space Command. We're going to... I probably should have crowdfunded it earlier. It's not a very good time to be crowdfunding a TV show, but I promised, so I'm going to do it. And hopefully you support it, because Mark is trying to make good science fiction that doesn't have agenda, that has good Star Trek actors. Nichelle Nichols is in it, in probably her last role, and we love her. And I love what he does. And he also wrote one of the best damn freaking Deep Space Nine episodes ever. So, Hail Gary, trying to figure out which of the Trek series to watch that I didn't watch before. What's better to watch, Voyager or Enterprise? Oh, Voyager. Voyager, for sure. By far. Now, if you haven't watched Deep Space Nine, I would watch that one. And Bird of Prey 5 becomes a member at the Jaloja level. Well, welcome, Bird of Prey 5, and I'll have a live stream tomorrow. And I'll probably give you guys a sneak peek at the Picard review. I'll give you guys early access to that when it's done. Thanks for popping in, Bernard Network. Okay, Robert Meyer Burnett and Az from Heels versus Babyface and Telma and everyone, and Birdie and Michael and Baked and Eric Bailey and Alistar and Nettled Nerds and Chris Persia and his wrench and Mark Lurzeth. What do we got here? Hail Gary. I already read that one. Okay, so I am going to bail because it's been 3 hours. I want you all to have a great day. I'll be back live tomorrow morning. And again, Mark Zickery interview, and we'll go over the What Culture video. So it'll be Doctor Who. We'll do a little Doctor Who, plus the latest comic book news. Right now, it's not looking good. And when I have the news to drop, hopefully on Friday, I will drop that news. I also have a Doctor Who rumor that, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to care because everything's changing right now. So as far as we know Lock and Key got picked up. We know certain shows are being picked up, but we don't know if things are actually going to happen. We don't know what's going to be left of these companies when it's over. I'm hoping that we're supposedly locked down till June or so, but then they lift it early. Just imagine you're the leader of a country and you estimate a lockdown and then you lift it early. How good is that going to make you look? Whether you like that leader or not, it's going to make you look good. So that's my hope, but that is not a strategy. I hope you all take care of each other, and you're nice, and we get through this, and you read some old comic books, watch some live streams, support some of our friends, and for those of you, again, I want to my deepest sympathies to Alpha Prime, who lost a job. So I'm thinking about you, and just be safe. I'm not going to tell you to wash your hands. I know you're going to wash your hands. Practice your social distancing, and I hope this all blows over soon. I do. In the meantime, we're going to try to have a little fun. So on that note, thank you again, everyone, and try to support your local comic shop if you can. Not all who wander are lost. And remember, or you can't remember this. That was a bad segue. Oberon, you saved me on that one. Fuck. You can't remember what I was going to say at the end. So, shoo. No reason other than thank you for you, brother. Well, thank you, Oberon. I appreciate that. AKA Blonded for $5. Hi, Gary. Sorry I'm late, but hello to everyone. Well, hello to you. Hello to you. And you're not late. You can always rewind it. I'm going to take it. It's going to be going over to Nerdrotic Live, but I will be unlisting this. But hang on to the link. And may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Ciao, everyone.